Everyone, and welcome to the Bradenton City Council meeting on Wednesday, December 10th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. City Hall Council Chambers. And as we always do, we'll start out with our invocation and our pledge. This time, if everyone will please stand, we'll ask Councilwoman Barnaby to do our invocation.
Please join me. Great Creator, in a world filled with noise and division, we ask for your peace. May your spirit calm every heart and bring unity among us. Let our holiday celebrations be marked by understanding, compassion, and joy. Teach us to listen more than we speak, to love without condition, putting service above self. And together let the people say, Amen.
Amen. Thank you. I would ask Mr. Perry to lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and we'll call this meeting to order. And I will say right out of the box, the reason I asked Mr. Perry to lead us the pledge, because he's the proud grandpa now of a baby boy, Kellen, was born on, I guess, Monday morning early, and he made it to see the birth with his daughter and his wife in Indiana. So congratulations, Mr. Perry.
Thank you, Mayor.
So, yep. Yep. Moving on, Madam Clerk.
The first item on the agenda is a presentation for our quarterly employee recognition.
All right. Thank you. Come forward. Ms. Nilsa.
Thank you. Good morning, Mayor, City Council, Mr. Perry, Mr. Williams, Attorney Rudisell, Chief Gear, and Chief Kramer. I'm Nilsa Taylor, Director of Administrative Services. Today it gives me great pleasure to recognize several employees for accomplishments that resulted in exceptional customer service, teamwork and commitment, and outstanding support to another department. The quarterly recognition program is to recognize employees and/or teams that demonstrate outstanding service to the City of Bradenton, our citizens and coworkers. Employees were nominated by their peers, supervisors, or directors, and evaluated accordingly. Based on these accomplishments, we are pleased to announce Employee of the Quarter, Team of the Quarter, and 2 runner-ups.
Good morning, Mayor, Council.
Good morning.
First, we would like to start with our first runner-up. If Mr. Sean Haran could come up, please. Sean Haran is our superintendent of the Streets and Drainage Division. He's been nominated on behalf of citizen Ms. Gail Lofgren from the Ironwood 6 condominiums. Recently, she became aware of a broken pipe in a storm drain on their property, and the broken pipe was causing a large sunken area in their side yard, which was very concerning. Mr. Sean Haran took charge of the project and led a very impressive crew of employees. These men repaired the storm drain, replaced the broken pipe, replaced the sod that had to be dug up, and replaced the stones on the patio. The pipe extended from the storm drain to the pond in the back of the condominium, so you can imagine the scope of the project. We would like to extend our sincere thank you to the City of Bradenton for quickly recognizing the issue, which could have turned into a dangerous situation, and give high praise for the professionalism and response of city employees who provided exemplary service and results. We were totally impressed with the service provided and care that they took in restoring our property to its original condition and eliminating what could have turned into a real problem. We are grateful to the city and you should be proud to be represented by these employees led by Mr. Sean Haran from the Streets and Drainage Division. So at this time, if you all would join me in recognizing Mr. Haran for our first. Thank you. And at this time, will Ms. Zelda Bryant come forward? As she comes up, Ms. Zelda Bryant is our second runner-up, nominated by Susanna Ackles. Zelda takes on many hats at one time and shows composure while doing her job. Her priority is always to fulfill customer needs as she completes the details of state and city codes involved in each transaction. She always shows each customer and city employee respect no matter the situation, and serves everyone with a smile and an environment you would want to be in. Zelda is never afraid to educate and train her team. If she does not know an answer, she will go overboard to find the answer. She is the role model for planning permitting division. She is called upon by her peers to assist with the permitting process and procedures. She is a positive role model and provides consistent, exceptional customer support and service to all. So thank you, Ms. Zelda. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Standifer. And Team of the Quarter, this team nomination was submitted by Mr. Sean Haran on behalf of Bradenton citizen Floyd Pierce. Citizen Pierce would like to recognize and commend several employees from Public Works, Streets and Drainage, Ted Holly. And I would like these employees to start coming forward, please. Ted Holly, Jude Placid, Daryl Baker, Marco Edmond, Diane Gonzalez, Greg Hillebrand, Corbett Mabry, Roberto Ramirez, Damas Raymond, John Simmons, and Alex Smith for their exceptional dedication and commitment to public service. And to give some context to this, on their scheduled day off, this team went above and beyond by working extra hours to ensure our city roads were repaired promptly and maintained in a condition that is safe for all who travel on them. Their efforts did not go unnoticed. The level of dedication reflects high standards of professionalism and proud in serving our community. Congratulations.
So once everything's done, we'll have everybody come
everyone,
back
yes,
up and get a big
absolutely,
picture,
yep.
so, yep.
And lastly, Employee of the Quarter. Employee of the Quarter, Garrett Falconer. Mr. Falconer was nominated by Officer Ian Emmerich. As Fleet Superintendent, Garrett has many responsibilities, not just making sure Fleet Services runs efficiently, but ensure services are completed in a timely manner and issues are addressed. His efforts keep those that help keep the city running, the roads maintained, the landscaping kept, the garbage trucks collecting garbage, and the patrol vehicles out patrolling. It never fails anytime Garrett is called. He is eager to assist in any way he can. If a battery needs to be replaced, so the high school has a light tower for their football game, or police needs a tire for a trailer, or assistance with a gas pump that isn't working properly, Garrett is willing to help no matter the issue. Recently, police department's heavy-duty dually truck would not start. Officer Emmerich called Garrett at 5:50 a.m. This was over an hour before Garrett's shift starts. Not only did Garrett answer the phone, but he assured someone would be there immediately. 10 minutes later, there was a technician in the parking lot. of the station trying to get the truck running. Garrett arranged for a tow truck and was able to secure another suitable vehicle capable of moving heavy-duty security camera trailers, four-wheelers, and side-by-sides to GT Bray Park for the Charlie Kirk Vigil. If it was not for Garrett Faulkner's dedication and commitment to the city, these tasks would not have been able to have been completed in a timely manner. He was and is there when we need him. It is because of this, his dedication and professionalism should be recognized. Officer Ian Emmerich. Congratulations.
He's also not a bad cook either. With some help from others, right, Eddie? No. All right?
All right, and at this time, I would like all those that were recognized to please step forward so we can do photos.
What we'll do is have everybody line up in front, and then we'll stand here, so. Love it. You gonna let her get on something that's high? Can't let her get on it.
Do you have it, or do you want me to? Are you sure?
Gotta squeeze over to the other side, some too on the other side. Yeah, Rob's up there.
We are so tall.
You look like, they're gonna say, wow.
Weird, right?
Yeah. Rob's organized. Good thing Rob's back, he's coordinating.
Cecil B. DePere.
That's awesome. GQ right here.
And look at David at the camera.
Steven Spielberg Perry.
Awesome. Great job.
We just want to, and I'll let the council say anything too before you all walk out, that thank you for all that you do. The city could not run without, obviously, everyone that's in this room and the rest of your friends and family that work with us, because I know we do have a lot of husband and wives and different family members that work together or work for the city. And we just want to say thank you, because most times you are the face of the city. You know, we get up and we get the spears thrown at us sometimes, and we get the accolades, but you guys are the ones getting that for us. So thank you for all you do, and we really appreciate it. Any council? All good?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ditto.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Mr. Mayor, just real quick, I've
Yes,
had an
sir.
opportunity to work with a lot of these folks really closely, and exactly what you just said. They're truly the unsung heroes of the city, and they do a phenomenal job, very dedicated, and we're just very fortunate to have them. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, Madam Clerk, it's citizen comments now.
Yes, sir.
All right, at this time, citizen comments will be accepted during the citizen comment portion of the meeting on any non-agenda item, agenda item, future agenda item, or topic of relevance to the city. Comments will be accepted on the public hearings at the appropriate time. And I do have 2 cards. Remember that you please come up and state your name, your city of residence, and you will have 3 minutes. And the council will not engage during the citizen comment till at the end. So first I have Jennifer Hoffman. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I am Jennifer Hoffman, Executive Director of Keep Manatee Beautiful, and also a resident of Bradenton. And so I wanted to take this opportunity, since it's understaffed, just to let you know how incredibly popular the tree giveaways have been through the Bradenton Tree Board. I am also the chair of the tree board. We have given away 2,700 trees that you all have paid for since the hurricanes. So is an incredibly popular thing, and one of the things that we'll be asking for is the October, November, December payments, but also if you guys want to continue on into the next year, because our original agreement was only this year. So we're December. But I also wanted to just put a little bug in your ear, being that this is America 250 that we're coming into, Earth Day this year, we are doing a large project in downtown Bradenton and downtown Palmetto, getting you guys ready for the whole shebang. And it's just gonna be an entire beautification, and I just wanted you guys to know so that you could get April 18th on your calendars, and we would love to see all of you out there, you know, getting sweaty and dirty. Kemp was trial by fire. He came out and did all of the mulching with us this last month. And of course, our lovely mayor is at almost all of our events, he and his wife. But I'm just so excited and truly, truly blessed that I get to be a part of y'all and help you guys get your mission out there in a very visible way. So I wanted to take the chance to thank you, wish you all a happy holidays, and let's have a great next year.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Next, we'll have Pat Simmons. Good morning, Ms. Simmons.
Good morning. Pat Simmons, Manatee County. Do you see it? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
This is a sticker that I designed. And it says, fix in 26. And the wheelchair obviously is for people that use mobility devices. It's to honor them. The microphone is the eye, and it represents people with communication disorders like myself. And then the X, there's a white cane for people with low vision or blind. And what I'm looking for is a sponsor to get these stickers made, because what I want to do is to give these stickers out to businesses and companies, restaurants, governments that take a pledge and say they will do one or two or whatever simple fixes to make life just a little easier for people with disabilities. If they do that, I'll give them a sticker and they can put it on their front window. And that way people will know, hey, I'm welcome here. So I got this idea in New Orleans about 7 years ago because they had pelican stickers everywhere. They were trying to drum up support for their NBA team. And there were stickers everywhere. So I thought, why not do that here for people with disabilities? Last night I was at a restaurant that has an access lane that dead ends into a curb. And the manager heard me asking someone about it. And he came flying out and said, we'll look into this tomorrow. The city of New Orleans, I emailed them the last time I was there.
All right, thank you. And I know we have been, I have no other citizen comment, so I know that you'd sent me some stuff, and Kelly, my assistant, and I were looking into some things. But I will reach out to Ms. Simmons, and there's some ideas I have that might be able to help, because my personal opinion is a sticker might not get what you message, but maybe a QR code on it that would take you somewhere. But let me reach out to you and do that. Thank you.
Please do. Thank you.
All right. Any other citizen comments? Seeing none, any council comments? Oh, yes. You just have to fill out a card, but come up and talk and then fill out the card afterwards. You can still talk. I mean, yeah, but you can come up and do your 3 minutes and then just fill out the card and give it to Ms. Melton after done. So you have 3 minutes. Please state your name and your city of residence.
Colton Herman. I'm live in Bradenton. And I'm just concerned about affordability right now. I wrote out this whole, basically like a budget that would put me under, like I don't have enough money to even live on my own in a studio apartment here in Bradenton. And I'm sure a lot of people in my demographic or whatever also feel the same way. It's not even just like a feeling, it's just facts. Like when you can't even afford, like health insurance or anything like that. Like, can't even afford to like go out. It's just like work all the time. So yeah, I guess I'm concerned about taxes going up, rent going up, and the minimum wage staying the same. So I don't know if you guys can do anything about that, but yep, just wanted to put that out there. Affordability, it's right around the corner. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Don't have any other cards, like I said, and anything else? All right. Thank you very much. Let's do it now. Yeah. All right. Oh, Miss Coker?
Did you want council comments?
Yeah, that's what, is there any comments?
Two things. First off, with regard to Keep Manatee Beautiful, I 100%, I think part of our identity is so tied to our trees, so I am in full support of supporting the trees. Anyhow, and the other thing, the discussion of affordability lately has really, I mean, of course, we're all concerned about that, especially that is a very common thing that we hear. I think our job needs to focus on jobs. We've got to set policies and be leaders that have an atmosphere that wants businesses to thrive here and that create good paying jobs. I realize we have to work, we've done quite a bit for affordable housing, but I think that the real key is to lifting everybody up by having the good paying jobs. And some of the rhetoric that you hear right now, I think is very anti-business. A lot of the discussion, and this is really more dealing with the growth out east, but when you start shutting down growth and shutting down things like that, you're killing industries. They think they're just hurting the big developers, but they're hurting the painters, the drywallers, the bricklayers, the realtors, the lenders. I mean, they're killing the economy and killing the industry. So I'm not saying growth at all costs, but I think that the real focus needs to be on having good leadership that's willing to go out there and make decisions that are going to help our industries grow and have good paying jobs. Just have to say that.
Vice Mayor Moore?
Well, first, actually, let me also say that out of the 2,700 trees, I am the proud owner of 3 of them now, and I love that program. But I echo your sentiments. I think that we're on the same page as I think that up here, we are definitely, economic development is a thing that we're trying to focus on, and that's what we do potentially have a little bit more control over. I want to commend you for coming up and speaking, because I have children, I suspect, about your age, and I think that there's a temptation to not engage because of the difficulties, so I appreciate you coming up here to say that. Another thing I think that we can do, and I think that we all do, is advocacy. I just spoke to a state legislature or state legislator who asked us to basically, be the boots on the ground and let them know what people are thinking and feeling. And so it's very helpful when community members come and tell us what they're thinking and feeling, so that we can convey that as well. So anywho, but I think to Councilwoman Coker's point, I think our focus on downtown economic development and the surrounding areas is what we can do to kind of further make it more vibrant and more affordable for our residents.
All right, thank you. And yeah, that's one of the things that, since I've been up here as mayor or as a council member, that we have tried to make things affordable housing. We put 700 plus units in downtown. Some of them seem not as affordable, but we say workforce attainable. Some of those keywords that are making a difference. We've got some opportunity even on this agenda today to add some more that will be down the road. Also with some of our changes that we made to our density and our heights and what those were, can actually grow some of that affordability. Even though we took out a portion of that in the downtown urban core, sometimes you have to take something away to get more of that. And when it was a hindrance to every project that we were doing, saying that you have to have this much of something, and it actually was stopping progress. Now, by eliminating that, once these projects get going, the city will actually have more opportunity to get some of that workforce attainable type of housing. Obviously, we don't control the rates, unfortunately, so, the minimum wage and all of that, but we have tried to make it where some of the things are more affordable when you're doing that, and then we're really trying to look at those things, because we all have kids that have gone through and really worked it in the time. And one of the things that I did see the other day that was interesting, when you really go back and look at the cost of homes today compared to 50, 80, 100 years ago, everything has articulated pretty consistently up. If your grandparents bought a home and then you bought a home or your parents bought a home and then you bought a home, it's very similar. The things of today, though, is we all have higher car payments. We all have cell phones. We all have amenities that I didn't have, because the most important thing to me was to buy my home. And I drove 2 old beaters that we had. When I was fortunate enough, my mom and dad helped me. My wife's mom and dad helped her. We kept those cars for several years until we were able to do things. So sometimes it's always not just an affordability situation, it's a spending issue. So we talked about some areas that maybe we give some, in the insurance committee the other day, we talked about how we might give some of that, help people with, some affordability and have some training on that, retirements and that. So I think there's a lot of opportunity that we can help our staff see some of that. But if everybody has 2 $700 car payments, they're not going to be able to afford a house. And, sometimes that just has to be looked at internally in training and giving some opportunity to learn about it. So, and then obviously Keep Manatee Beautiful, I love. So, loved it for when we used to do it on 26th Street by the funeral home. Had our sign up there, and I didn't just do it once a quarter. We did it every day, driving down 26th Street going home from work. But it's been something that's great. We did all that bark, I guess you call it, with Ross and the group and all the guys out there, and then we had like 25 people that were able to go through Village of the Arts and Kemp, going out there and spreading. I think we did almost 600 bags of it, and I saw some areas we missed, so we got to get it. So, well, now that the parking lot's developed there by the Herrig properties, so, but those things are great, and the trees are great, and that's one thing that I think that we got to keep doing, because that's what that tree fund's for, is to get more trees out and help our city. So, all right, anybody else? Ms. Coachman?
Thank you. Yes, of course, keeping Manatee beautiful is definitely your mantra, and it's actually what you do. But I want to say to the young man that spoke, I hope you leave here feeling that what you said was heard and it didn't fall on deaf ears.
All right, thank you very much. We'll move on. Mr. Perry, did we want to?
Sure. Mayor, you've got a special recognition today of an employee that's going to be retiring. Mr. Bruner is in the back, and he, of course, is our facilities manager, and he's done a great job for the city. Lori, his wife, is with him. She works for the city as well, has done a great job. If you guys could come up a little to the podium.
And
And Lance, you want to take it?
Mr. Lee is gonna
Mr. Lee, take care of it?
take
Thank
care
you.
of it. Yes, sir.
Yep. Come on up, Don.
Come on up.
Family.
Yep, you and your family.
Don't be shy.
Yep.
And if you know Lori, you know Lori's not shy.
Yeah.
So.
Again, Irvin Lee, Director of Public Works and Utilities.
Get closer to the microphone if you would, Mr.
Irvin Lee, Director of Public Works and Utilities. I thought it was very appropriate after yesterday's luncheon that we take a few moments to recognize, you know, and I've said this many times. There's so much that goes into a career, especially a career in public service. And the career that Don has chosen literally has impacted you all up close and personal, because the work that he's done, not only you know, for city facilities, but in particular here at City Hall, again, you all have benefited from it, and I believe that it has been a positive experience for you. And I couldn't let us get away or let him get out of here after 30 years of service to the city of Bradenton and the citizens of Bradenton. I asked him to come up. I know he really didn't want any recognition, didn't want any special consideration taken for him, but the kinds of things that he does behind the scenes, and it's not the it's not the big huge parades and you know, accolades that go along with the city, but it's those little things that he's done to make a decision, to make a procurement action, to do something to keep the environment, the temperature just right. And these are things that go unnoticed. And I wanted to make sure that he knows that not only from my perspective, and my tenure here compared to his service is just a vapor, but I wanted you to hear it from me, and let these folks, you know, give you the accolades that you are due for a sustained career of support and service to people who really appreciate it. So that's all I had to say.
Thank you.
Hey, nope. Come up to the microphone. Still working. I'll start out, and I probably didn't really, over all my years being here, really understand as much. And I know Mr. Callahan's in the audience, and when we shuttered the banquet hall there and all that we've done, you know, over the years, and you were doing a lot of that, and it was really looking at it many years ago, but probably didn't realize their importance until the PSOC, and especially 2 years ago with the hurricanes that went through and that building just opening up, and what you did to get us a couple of years earlier into that building when it was just a building, and we kind of managed it a little bit for a storm or two, but didn't have anything in it really. It was just the walls right at that point. But then changing that into what it is today, and thank goodness we didn't have to use it this year, but it's so important that you've kept the little things, the auditorium, that over the years. And, you know, like I said, behind the scenes as much as possible, but you know, you think 30 years of stuff, and I can see the emotion that, you know, as we get older, we get a little more emotional at times that you don't think you will. But I just want to say thank you, because you can't replace what you've done for us. But, you know, and I know we've pushed it a lot the last few years, more than we had probably in a lot of years. But thank you very much. And I think the citizens, you know, don't see it, but that's what's the most important, is that you did it when it mattered and got things done 24/7. I mean, I think that's probably the thing that I realized more than not. So from my standpoint, I'll say thank you. I know others will too, but Mr. Perry?
Thanks, Meredith. And just to echo on some of your thoughts, it's I think people kind of like look at things out of sight, out of mind, and Don kind of is the out of sight, getting things done in mind. Every facility we have has a tag number, and I think there's, 500 plus facilities, different types of assets we have that are considered facilities. And it's not just day-to-day facility maintenance, whether it's City Hall or the PSOC or a Pirate City or the golf course and things like that. But he's also an ambassador, and our facilities that we rent out, lease out over at the garage for retail space, when we first activated those, I think Don and I were talking about somewhere in the order of probably 5 to 8 times a weekend. Because of evaporation that was leaking on inventory, air conditioning, and Don would get out there and take readings and try to deal with those problems, and he was a great ambassador for us with the public as well as in the internal and things like that. And again, like the employees we had this morning, kind of making us all look good. And then in emergency situations, you take for granted, like those storms we were talking about, and for sure, preparation of our emergency operations center and everything that he did there. But also, after the fact, he had to basically go out and get all those roofs fixed, those buildings restructured, all the mechanical systems and everything else. And he's put together a great team. It's not just Don as an individual, but it's Don as a manager, Don as somebody that cares, Don as somebody that takes pride in his work, and Don has been here for 30 years doing it day in and day out. So I just want to express my appreciation for that and acknowledgement of all the things you do that are both seen and unseen.
Thank you. Mr. Williams?
So I'm just going to echo what the mayor and Mr. Perry said. So Don and I have worked closely, I don't know, for the last 11 years, but more closely, recently. But Don is one of those gentlemen that you can call, and he's going to talk through a situation. He's going to find out what the best solution is. But he's also mindful of the fiscal side and how it affects employees. And not even just his employees. He takes care of all of the employees because of our facilities management. He's done a phenomenal job in leadership with the facilities group, and he's done a phenomenal job with the leadership in the electrical division as well. We always talk about facilities, and you think of Don Brunner, right? And trust me, the man has a wealth of knowledge far beyond facilities. But he handled our demolition for our public works division. He's kind of a jack of all trades and probably mastered most of them. So, no, all right. And I know he likes to work on cars too. So, but Don, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart that, our relationship and working together and trying to make the city a better place, couldn't have done it without you. And I truly appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Williams. Ms. Coker?
Just very quickly. We haven't had a lot of interaction, which I think is kind of testament to the good job that you've done. But I really feel like it's important to call attention to, in this day of transfer portals and instant gratification, I just want to thank you for your loyalty. 30 years staying with the city. I mean, that kind of loyalty is something that I hope starts to come back to some of the people in the world right now. And so I just want to thank you for that and call attention to it. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Moore.
I would just like to, thank you. I would like to echo that sentiment again, because I often say that one of my prayers for my 17-year-old son is that he would appreciate what it feels like to accomplish something and and that feeling that you get from a job well done and hard work. And I feel like you're exemplifying that and putting it into, something that is tangible, and it's admirable. So I'm excited to wish you well, but thank you also for your service.
Ditto.
Ms. Barnaby?
Well, I haven't known the city without you. Because you got here before me, and now you're leaving before me. But you have certainly earned your retirement. I wish you the very best. And I thank you for your service, your loyalty, and the example that you have set for everyone. You are a true gentleman. Thank you.
Chief Kramer?
Thank you, Don. We've known each other for quite a while. I appreciate everything you've done for us at our department. I liked being able to talk to you because you didn't sugarcoat stuff, which I really appreciate, because you just cut right to it, and that's what we needed, doing what we had to get done. So thank you, and thank you for what you contributed to our new build with the generator, and I know Brian said a lot of electrical advice work on that, so thank you.
Chief Gear?
It was kind of a running joke all through the years about every time I called you, it wasn't to see how you were doing that day. And it was always, oh no. And I appreciate you always answering. And from all the incidents we had and you assisted with, and more than just facilities, but all through the night. And it was always true. I never called for anything good. And I appreciate you always answering. And so thank you. You'll be missed.
Yeah, and I just listened to everybody, and like you said, a lot of times you're behind the scenes or getting things done, but it's that important to us to make sure that it's done so we can operate. And like I said, until the PSOC, I didn't really understand as much of what you did from that standpoint, but seeing that and not just, a lot of facility people are like in one area, one facility, but you had the whole city. So again, thank you for all that you've done, and the institutional knowledge that when you leave, but maybe some phone calls, I'm sure, who comes in and what they do. Hopefully they keep answering just for a little while. Might need you, cut it off. So. But thank you very much. And do you have anything you'd like to say?
It's been a good run.
Yep.
And there are people in place to take care of what I did.
Well, that's the good sign of a great leader, that somebody can come in and follow up that's in-house. So we appreciate that, and congratulations, and enjoy the next 30 years. So, yeah. Try. Thank you. Retired City Administrator Callahan.
And I just want to say one thing, that Don was unbelievable. I mean, from the 26 years that he started, overlapped almost entirely with me for that time. And the one thing that you all know me, that what I believed in, and he absolutely took to the furthest way, was a common sense approach to problem solving. And that was, I would like to say it was too unusual, but that's pretty much exactly what he did. And I will officially take him out of my cell phone now.
Thank you. All right, we've had a great morning and some great information so far, and so, Madam Clerk?
Item 6 is the consent agenda, and staff is requesting approval of items A through W.
Chair will entertain a motion.
I would like to, if we could, just discuss item 6N.
Approve the consent agenda, taking off N.
Yeah, I just think there's a bigger discussion to be had.
All right, so we'll go A through W with N off to discuss.
Second.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, I
Yes.
just want to, for the record, just note that I had the opportunity to talk to each council member individually, discuss all the items on the consent agenda, and answer any questions they may have.
Good. Okay, perfect. So we have a motion to approve consent agenda A through W, but pulling N for further discussion by Councilman Schuessler and seconded by Councilwoman Coker. We'll start the vote in Ward 2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
5,
Yes.
1.
Yes.
Approved 5-0. Councilman Schuessler. You have some questions on N, or?
Yes, just regarding N, we have the workshop coming up. That part of that workshop is on solid waste, and in general, I just think there's a lot of unknowns regarding solid waste in a larger discussion to be had. So in line with that, I just think it's a little bit preliminary to perhaps be adding a new garbage truck until we can have that larger discussion around solid waste.
Okay. Mr. Williams?
So, thank you, sir. So we had Mr. Schuster, or Councilman Schuster and I had a conversation about some of the vehicles that we were purchasing. What you're looking at on Elmo right now is our pictures of the vehicles that are used in our solid waste division. So you're looking at a garbage truck, I think there's a grappler truck on there, and then there's a roll-off truck as well. So some of the things that we look at, looking kind of into the future, and like you mentioned, we have a meeting tomorrow, or a workshop tomorrow, to discuss solid waste in general. But some of this business, when we talked about reserves back in the past, this is what we're buying, and these vehicles are assets. We run a utility, we run an enterprise. Solid waste is an enterprise, and this is part of the equipment that needs to be refreshed, every so often, usually 5 to 7 years. There's some things that we're going to mention or talk about tomorrow to try to provide some efficiencies. But some of the roll-off equipment that you're seeing, we're kind of identifying some opportunities to kind of cover those costs. So,
I just wanted to add a couple of things here. The list of equipment, too, I believe includes about 6 different pieces of equipment. Some of it is not directly related to solid waste. So I want to show you a couple of examples of pieces of equipment that we have. I believe there's potentially, I think there's 2, maybe 3 of these. These are actually from the mechanical division. And you know what these heavy-duty pickup trucks do? They back up to basically big lift stations, and they pull pumps out of the ground. And those pumps are basically made of wire and steel, and they weigh a lot. You see that crane on the back? That pickup truck right there basically lists on a government contract for $60,000, but when you add in all the equipment and aperture related to it, if you look at that photograph, you'll see a crane that's attached to it. Crane is operated by a hydraulic pump. You'll see outriggers that stabilize the vehicle so that it can pick up. I think it's 60,000 pounds on the max on that. And what we have to be able to do is pull up to lift station 14 and pull those pumps out of the ground so we can clean rags, we can change out the pumps, we can do the switching and things like that. And so we operate these enterprises for the purposes of solid waste. Solid waste is about $11 million a year enterprise. We bring in $11 million, basically. Our operating cost out of that is about probably 9.5, but then we have to capitalize it with repair and replacement equipment. Whether we're building plants out at Detroit, Michigan for Henry Ford, which has a bunch of tooling equipment basically to build vehicles, or whether we're operating a solid waste or mechanical system for water and sewer, really what does that is 2 things, men, women, and equipment. Labor and equipment, and we have to recapitalize that equipment. Now, I understand that coming up, we are having a discussion tomorrow in the workshop about the solid waste program itself. However, those vehicles that were depicted there do a little bit more than just solid waste, too. I want to give you an example of this Peterbilt.
Mr. Perry, the item he's talking about was the one truck, 6N.
Mine was
Can you
specific to
show
not-
that?
Is it specific to
Just
that?
6N,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
can you give us, that's the Peterbilt 520
Yeah,
heel.
it's the first one, 6N.
Right.
And I understand fully that a lot of these vehicles are end of life, and
Okay.
I agree with you that they should be replaced. My query was specific to solid waste, and I just think that with it coming up in a workshop and a bunch of unknowns regarding around it, Mr. Perry, that we should Mr. Williams had said that there were perhaps a truck outside of that was involved in solid waste, maybe the rollers, but mine was just specific to adding a new vehicle in front of a discussion that is yet to be had. I just thought it was preliminary.
Should be a number on it.
Peterbilt, yeah.
520.
So, yeah.
Well, we can certainly pass this and pick it up again. We want to make sure that we kind of lock in any contract pricing.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Is there a big price? One of the things I think that we've, and obviously we'll have the discussion tomorrow, even if some of our solid waste did adjust in a way, this is the most lucrative part of solid waste, is the commercial
Absolutely.
business that we would keep up. And I think that's where, you know, when we see how things go tomorrow, and again, I don't know if this matters for 2 weeks or 3 weeks that we don't order it, or is there a price break if we order it now because it's end of year?
Yeah, I could actually, so there is with the government contract, they do have windows of opportunity to order. So we want to make sure that we stay in that window, but we can certainly address them. We can even, I guess, discuss it tomorrow if need be.
But we won't be able to
can't do
pass
anything.
anything till the
Right,
January
exactly.
meeting if we.
But we can find out with Garrett, our fleet manager, if, you know, that's an opportunity. But, yeah, I think, you know, I'm trying to figure out what this particular vehicle is, because we have the grappler and the roll-off.
That's the front end load.
Right, yeah, the grappler obviously is what we pick up our bulk items with, and then the roll-off is on the commercial, more on a commercial basis. But yeah,
that's
we
used
can.
for commercial dumpsters. And,
Yeah, that's a large roll-off truck.
That's the fire.
That's
yeah,
what
we
we're
have it
talking
up. We have it on our.
That's what we call a crusher. It's a standardized front end loader.
It's on our screen, so.
There it is.
Yeah, same thing, so.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so, but, and also though, if anything did change or we adjusted, if something happened, anybody we dealt with would take over our equipment and give us current cash value, so.
Regarding that, I think my only concern would be, if, you know, just when you roll a new car off the lot, it immediately depreciates. So that was my hesitancy to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just one more comment, that these types of vehicles actually take about 18 months to produce. So typically, much like our heavy equipment in the fire department, there's somebody that's gonna take that vehicle. So if we decide at some point we want to back out of it, then we haven't had any issues of being able to not purchase or complete the purchase of a trash vehicle. We've never really had to do that, but there is a demand for these vehicles. That's why it takes so long to get them from order to actually on the lot, or in our lot.
So Councilwoman Barnaby, then Coker, then Moore.
Gentlemen, this is not an addition to the fleet, is this a replacement vehicle? And it seems like every time I'm driving down 9th Street, I see one of our vehicles either being repaired or the tires worked on or something. And I understand, you know, we run our vehicles till they basically don't run much more, kind of thing. So the questions that I had was, this isn't an addition, this is a replacement vehicle, and number two, do we have some sort of pricing differential located now as opposed to if we order it 3-4 months from now, kind of thing? Because sometimes, for example, with the fire trucks, we had the opportunity to lock in a very specific lower price if we placed the order by a certain time, and that's why the council chose to do it.
I think generally speaking, that's a great question too. I can't tell you about the specifics as it relates to the pricing lock of it, but they typically are priced on a lock for a period of time, whether it's 30, 60, or 90 days. You pointed out the example of the fire truck, which is basically the platform that we purchased 3 years ago that was delivered this year. We paid $1.5 million for. When we ordered one this year that will be then delivered 3 years from now, it was $2.5 million. And so we're always concerned about escalation, and particularly in today's world, talking to Mr. Colton regarding affordability. And you know, I talk with vendors all the time. I go, how does things go up that much? Whether it's building materials or heavy equipment, whatever. And I get this common answers because they charge what they can. I don't know what that says. I have an economics degree. I've never heard that theory, you know, in any economics background. Typically, it's a supply-demand type situation, right? But for whatever reason, we are always concerned about escalation. An interesting thing you're going to hear about the Ironwood is the quote that we have for construction on that has an escalation provision. And the
Got to cover.
Yeah. I'm not saying, I'm kind of with Councilor Schuessler on this to the extent of if we want to hold off on that, I don't have a problem. It's probably a good idea. on end, but we will have to come back eventually. And the reality is that that equipment, we drive it in the millions of miles a year. It's like a city bus, you know, a transit bus. They put a lot miles on these things. Their lifespan is they're ridden hard and put away, used. It's just the nature of the beast. That thing weighs 60,000 pounds. It's about, what, $400,000 thereabouts. All kinds of different equipment on it. We've done what we can. Mayor had a great, and you all approved the thing about putting the Samsara system on there, the cameras. And we can actually get on our, whether you want to or not, him and I get noticed every day about incidents. And it's the craziest thing. You see these trucks, how they work, and the conditions they have to work under. Because again, it's about labor and it's about equipment. That's brings in and operates an $11 million industry for the city.
So if we can table this or delay it, and if we get somewhere where we need to have a special meeting, just to approve that because of, once we talk tomorrow and, before Christmas, to approve it, if it comes down to where it's gonna save us money and we've realized what we've gotta do, I think that's an opportunity. So Ms. Coker and then Ms. Moore.
Yeah. I think what I would like to hear is a couple of things. First off, I think part of the reason why they price what they want because they don't have competition. And I wonder if out there, with technologies coming ahead, with AI, with everything, are there other ways of doing things? I mean, I'm not in that business, but neither really are y'all. But is there someone who is in the business that goes to these trade shows and knows what the best practices are? Because I'm concerned, as we're redeveloping downtown, that these big commercial trucks are going to be more difficult to get through and service all of the businesses that I'm hoping we're going to be having come. So I just would like to make sure that we're staying on top of technology and best practices and all that. And so anyhow.
What I can tell you about that is that I don't do it for business. Mr. Mora does it for business.
That's what I want to
Mr.
hear.
Mora worked for me since 2009 in the city of Albuquerque, which has 300,000 accounts. We have 16,000 here. The way they do it in the city of Albuquerque back then is the same way they do it in the city of Bradenton today, with equipment and labor. It's all diesel. They have looked at natural gas, so there's been some of that stuff that's dealt with it. But at the end of the day, when you think about it, solid waste hasn't really transformed itself with a high degree of technology because it has to do a route. And the routing and the dispatch and the use of that equipment to get on the roads, to pick things up from a service area, to take it to a consolidated dump area, it really hasn't changed. And I don't see it really changing a whole lot. I don't think we're gonna get drones to come pick up your trash. I don't think that we're gonna get robots. I don't think that somebody's gonna be able to digitalize it. What we're gonna have is a hardworking city employee that drives a truck, and gets off the back of that truck, or operates some hydraulic equipment. Yeah, I mean, I'm not in the business, but I haven't seen anything that looks like that technology is going to impact it. But Mr. Moore would be probably, because he's done it for a lifetime.
Well, and I think too, we've seen some, we talked about the one-arm pickup, the trucks. I mean, that's an example of how maybe some technology has changed, but you're still looking at a $400,000, $500,000 vehicle. But, some of the events we've had recently with our police department, our fire department, you've seen the smaller trash trucks. So we do have a variety of different sizes for different purposes. So as things develop, and specifically downtown, we can accommodate some of those, I guess, space issues, if you will. But you're still looking at several hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on how large the vehicles are.
Vice Mayor Moore.
I also had asked Mr. Williams about that, and I do have, though, some confidence based on some conversations with Waste Pro at conferences and whatnot, that they do help you with dealing with your fleet if we move to that. But since you have brought this up though, because I think that it's a good thing to have brought up, I'll note that the quote expired in November, so unless you all have some confidence that there's really some savings to doing it right now, I wouldn't be adverse to a special meeting if that was the case, so that we could flesh it out tomorrow, if that would reassure everyone for that purpose. So I was just gonna say, I'm okay with that.
We can have a special
No.
meeting.
If we need to.
Next week.
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, probably, that's, yeah.
If anything else pops up too.
Yeah, because we'll have the workshop tomorrow, we can get some additional information, and then schedule a
Yeah.
special meeting.
Yeah,
Well, and I do know what we talk about daily about different things is, you guys don't want to spend $400,000 either, but even if things did transition differently than what I think in my own mind could happen from previous council meetings that we've discussed things, we're still going to need a truck to do the job, and the trucks we have aren't sufficient to last us another year. And unfortunately, they wear out quickly because we do ride them very hard. And if one breaks down, we're in trouble. I'm getting calls from Shake Pit, I'm getting calls from everywhere that their garbage isn't picked up. And these businesses that do 2, 3, 4 days a week can't afford to miss one day. Or sometimes you might miss a green can and they can maybe go another day.
Waterworks, Pier.
Oh, Pier,
Right,
yeah,
we
all
all
of
get
them.
some
Yeah, we get all of them.
Be all right for you usually,
Yeah,
yes, sir.
yeah, so, but anyway, no, I think that's good, and like I said, I don't have a problem calling it if they say it can wait till January, whatever our first meeting is.
Right.
Okay, if not, we need to call it to get it, but, and again, these companies are 18 months out, so there's been times that we could adjust if we've ordered it and then say, because everybody will buy one. We've bought some before
Yeah.
like that, where it's
Absolutely.
special purchase, where somebody
just did.
calls and says, hey, we got cars,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know.
Yeah.
Chicago backed out of
We just-
300
yeah, we just
cars,
took
can we
advantage
get
of that.
some, right?
Exactly.
So,
And
so do we just officially, do we have to table this, or
Either staff can pull it.
pull it till
We'll
further
pull it. Yeah, we'll pull
discussion?
it.
Okay.
Yep.
So N will be pulled, is that all right, Mr. Schuessler?
Yes.
Okay, so it'll be pulled for further discussion, okay? Thank you. All right, Madam Clerk?
At this time, I'll administer the oath. Anyone wishing to address the board during the following public hearings will please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the factual statements and representations which you are about to present to this board will be truthful and accurate? Thank you. Item 7A is Resolution 2599, related to a special use permit to operate a drive-through restaurant.
All right. Who do we have presenting? Oh, here she comes.
Hi, sorry, that was short. Hello, Council. Jamie Schindewolf with the Planning Department, and I have been sworn. All right, so yes, as stated, this is a request before you today for a special use permit for a drive-through facility at 126 Fifth Avenue Drive East, 604 2nd Street East, and 608 2nd Street East here in Bradenton, Florida. This is an overview of the case. You can see it's about 0.3696 acres, currently vacant. This is the subject parcels. The future land use is Urban Central Business District, and the zoning is T5. This is within our form-based code area, and drive-through facilities are listed as a special use. This is part of a planned retail development with a separate commercial space to the south on these same properties. The future land use typically prohibits auto-oriented uses. However, this is within an exception area that was approved by City Council. The overall purpose of the Urban Central Business District category is to establish, define, promote, and facilitate the redevelopment and enhancement of the city's primary and historical urban center. This is the site plan, which I know is very busy. I've circled here specifically the proposed drive-through. While you are approving the use today, the site plan is not currently completely code compliant. The applicant will need some form-based code adjustments. Specifically, they have applied for that form-based code review and received comments regarding what things do need to be fixed to be fully up to code. But this is a general conceptual site plan at this time. Here you can see what the property looks like now. These are our general special use standards. All special uses are meant to comply at a minimum with these standards. The one I do want to point out, which is very commonly a difficult one for properties within the form-based code to meet, is the landscape separation strip that is required of at least 10 feet along all property lines and streets. There is a proposed retaining wall and fence between this project and the property to the west. But otherwise, it's obviously difficult when you're on these smaller properties in a denser area to provide that much separation. These are the criteria that will be cited as reasons for approval or denial of the application. The things I want to point out here are that the provided parking per the plan we were provided with this application doesn't quite meet our code standards. It doesn't meet the code standard for handicap parking width. They may have fewer spaces than needed by about one, and the dumpster location may not be serviceable. And they've been provided these comments and can make adjustments moving forward. Regarding these criteria here, any lighting or signage will be in accordance with our requirements, and plan review during the building permit process will ensure compliance with those standards. They haven't provided signage or lighting plans at this point. It doesn't appear this use would have an impact on the value of surrounding properties, given the existing and planned uses around it, such as drive-throughs already and a car wash. This property is located, as stated, in an exception area of our comp plan for those auto-oriented uses. And the hours of operation that have been proposed are approximately 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., leaning more towards early mornings than late nights. So as stated, there are some challenges potentially in meeting the special use criteria, but Planning Commission voted in November to recommend approval of this permit 6-1. And we do have a representative of the applicant here, and I think he does have some, excuse me, changes to show you all, since they have met with our development review committee and addressed some of the comments.
Any comments or questions from Jamie first? All right. Thank you. Have the applicant.
I'll pick one. Go ahead. My name is Abid Suwaidi, Bradenton, Florida. I'm representing the Main City Plaza proposed building project that you see before you. We have had our comments, or our meeting about the comments. There have been adjustments with regards to the stack drive-through. It went from 7 to 8. Our parking is in code now, and there's 11 parking spots, with one of them being for handicap. The total building space is 5,200 square feet between the two buildings. So that does meet the 500 square feet per parking spot. The dumpster, there's been 2 different proposals on conceptual drawings for approval for Public Works to approve. We've moved the current dumpster site location that was approved by Public Works last year to a different spot on property, as well as we're in discussions with KFC to share their dumpster and expand it, as well as potentially share their parking if business becomes too busy. So I can show you what we've done. On here, we've moved the dumpster that was here, and we've put it on the corner of the building so that a dump truck can pull in, back out, and continue back out on route with a one-way exit onto State Road 64. It's a one-way in, except your drive-through. Coming out of the drive-through, there's only a one-way out, and that would be to the right onto 5th. In this particular plan, there's 2 different handicap parking spots. It will be adjusted to where there will only be 1, and you will have 10 parking spots plus 1 handicap. What Jamie was talking in regards to the landscape strip right here on the west side, there's already current landscape of grass and some trees between KFC and the west side. On the State Road 64 side, there's a setback rule for the building has to be within 8 feet of the property line. So we are going to adhere to that with also expanding the sidewalk so we stay within code, as well as on the east side as well. And then the building size for the main building will be 4,400 square feet, and the other, 4,230 square feet, and the other building will be just under 1,100 square feet, bringing you just under 5,300 square feet.
All right, any questions?
I have
Ms. Coker?
questions. Yeah, and I don't know, am I allowed to ask, I mean, what kind of restaurant this is gonna be? Because I'm seeing two buildings, I'm not totally understanding them. I don't know if I'm allowed to ask that or not. Okay. And, I'd also, yeah, I have a couple of little questions, yeah.
Fire away.
So what kind of restaurant is this? Why, it's two buildings?
So the only food establishment would be on the drive-through side. It's either going to be a Black Rifle Coffee Company or Dutch Brothers. Whereas the retail center will be actually retail, like we have an e-bikes LOI as well as AT&T potentially will be moving there based on their score.
Oh, so it'll be totally different business?
Yes, it'll be separate businesses, correct.
So the only drive-through is for that smaller?
That's correct.
Oh, okay. And how many cars did you say would stack up?
On
Could
this
stack on
particular
there?
plan, right now, it's 8.
8? Okay. And then you also mentioned about the wall between, there's gonna be
Not
a
a
wall?
There is no wall. It's a patch of grass.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought she said something about a wall. Okay, and then you might be able to share parking with them?
If
They'll
we
be able
need,
to walk
we
back and-
currently meet code with regards to parking, and we are actually in the process of trying to purchase the KFC.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's all I had. Thank you.
All right, Vice Mayor Moore?
When you say that you're doing this exit to the north on State Road 64, do you mean Fifth Avenue Drive?
No, that is for the exit only for drive-through patrons that have finished their drive-through. They will only be allowed to turn right. It's a right turn only.
Right, okay. Right turn onto what, though?
Fifth.
Fifth.
Yes, Fifth.
Mr. Mayor,
That doesn't,
we're
yeah,
getting
that
some
doesn't
mixed signals here.
yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Let me bring you up a different,
Because it's Sixth Avenue on
State
the
Road
south
64.
side of KFC.
that's State Road 64.
No, the north side is State Road 64. It's the one-way, they call it, but it's Sixth Avenue.
Right.
Right.
May I interject?
Yes, Chief
That
Kramer.
area is a little bit of a map anomaly.
Oh, is it?
Fifth Avenue Drive, basically, for mapping purposes, serves as Sixth Avenue, which is why these addresses that are actually north of Sixth Avenue have a 600 block address. Normally, that would be south, which the chief and I were talking about. It's going to affect things when we try to respond. We have to know business names and things like that. But in looking at all the mapping and all the other local addresses, like Wawa, for example's address is 701, so it's south of that. I obviously have concerns about where cars are going to back up and turn onto and things like that, but that's a different story.
If you look at this current survey, you'll see State Road 64 is 6th Avenue East. And to the north, you will see in between all those lines, 5th Avenue Drive East. That would be between the car wash and the current site.
So can
And
I
it's,
get
you said it was a
clarification?
one of those new coffee shops that are popping up everywhere. In there.
It would potentially be one of those two, correct. We
Right.
currently own the Starbucks as well, but we are trying to let their lease expire and leave.
Well, that makes people probably feel a little better that things will be off of that main.
Correct.
So it won't be two coffee
We've
shops.
taken that into consideration with regards to the buildup of traffic in the morning to Starbucks.
So will there be ingress from State Road 64, or will there be any
It'll be
access?
exit only.
Exit
only.
onto?
Exit only from the site onto State Road 64.
Which right now, you can get on and off there to get to the Starbucks.
Yeah, but
You
you have
cannot.
to turn left.
You can only access, I'm sorry, I take that back.
Yeah, you
With
can-
regard to Starbucks, correct. It's only through 301 Manatee Avenue, 2nd Avenue coming around onto the side road just.
Well, it's
south.
all undeveloped property, it's
It's being
grass.
developed currently right now.
Yeah, so that changed, but you used to be able to drive from a lot of, over grass and.
No longer the case. Yeah, we have eliminated the homeless problem there as well.
All right.
Are you done?
Ms. Barnaby, I had Vice Mayor first.
Oh, well, that answered my question, but I'll have comments too,
Well,
but that's why I raised it back up, because I don't know if we're done with,
Ms.
asking
Ba-
questions.
we'll Go to Ms. Barnaby.
Well,
and
I'm
then-
still trying to figure, how do people turn off of Manatee Avenue heading east? I'm still trying to figure out how they get there.
There's several different avenues. If you're traveling on 301, you could take a right on State Road 64 and pull a left on 2nd Avenue and pull another left onto 5th to pull in, or you could continue on 301, turn a right on 5th Avenue Drive and pull into there, as well as come off Manatee Avenue down 2nd going south currently.
Okay.
Pull into, there's 3 different access points to that site from that particular
We
location.
gotta remember the north-south Second Street. or
Right.
Second
Okay, yeah,
East,
I,
Right, so that's one that, yeah,
It
that's where you
kind of-
used to go and try to zigzag.
Correct.
Sometimes to get to
That's correct.
KFC and,
Okay.
others, which KFC is one.
And from my understanding, I believe FDOT was planning on making 2nd a one-way street and putting a potential light on Manatee Avenue in 2nd. From what I understand, that's no longer an option. That's not going to happen.
That was something that when they were talking about eliminating the left turn lane on First Street going north and then making people turn right,
Correct.
turn left, and then left.
Made things
It was too
worse.
much stacking, and that is, DOT has backed away from that.
Now,
Go ahead.
Mayor, you mentioned one entranceway would be if you were, I guess, heading north on First, and then you turn right onto 6th Ave. Was that one of the
You
routes?
could turn right off of
Off of
301, 41.
301,
and
turn right.
a left on, make a left, turn right on 64, take a left on the very first street, which would be 2nd, which would bring you to the right of the building, or should I say to the east of the
Okay,
building.
so you're talking about First Street heading what, south or north?
North.
Heading north, okay, Wawa.
Wawa's on the south.
Wawa's on the
Like if
south.
we're gonna turn to go into KFC, you just keep going down to Second and then turn left, and then you can get into all that
5th.
plaza.
It's, well,
It's,
KFC's on the corner.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if you turn, like what you're talking about, I think, is if you turn right onto Sixth, and you wanna go into KFC.
Then you gotta go across.
Right, but you just turn right, go into KFC's driveway. Now you just go down to Second, you continue down to Second and turn left, and then you can access all that.
Okay, so it's
She's gonna bring
off of
something up for you
Second.
to
It's
see.
off of
It's
Second.
the
not
visual
off of
part
Sixth.
we can't get,
Okay.
Does this help?
yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
So your access points to this property right here, your entrance is where the mouse is. You can come down 6th, take a left on 2nd, make another left on 5th, pulling into here. You could also come up First Street, make a right on 5th, pulling into here. As well as Manatee Avenue East, you can make a left going down 2nd Street and make another right, pulling up to the plaza and pulling in there as well.
Okay.
3
that-
access points.
That was it. I wasn't.
I think
wasn't
everybody's
figuring
thinking of the
Fifth.
property from Manatee Avenue to Sixth, and that was there. This is just the corner, the whole corner
correct.
behind KFC.
Yes, sir.
So Fifth Avenue goes in between it. So when you pull out of the drive-up of KFC, you go right onto Fifth.
And the confusion is you have
Yeah.
5th Avenue Drive East.
Right, yeah.
And 5th Avenue, which is Manatee.
Right.
Right, yeah.
And
so-
I wasn't thinking of where the entrance was
Right.
there on Fifth Avenue. I wasn't. I was thinking there was also an entrance on Sixth.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the visual makes it a lot easier. Vice Mayor Moore, or, I'm sorry, are you done, Ms. Cook?
Yeah.
Vice Mayor Moore?
I don't have any other questions. Are we in discussion time? Or-
Well, we're going to go to public hearing, and
Okay.
then we'll get in discussion.
Then I will hold my comment
all right.
until.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. So, this time, Mr. Rudisil, public hearing.
Unless staff's making a presentation.
Staff has any more?
She did.
Where did she go?
She did it.
No more, okay, all right. All right, thank you. All right, so at this time, we'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak? Anyone wishing to speak? Anyone wishing to speak? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. Vice Mayor Moore.
I have some concerns about what's before us. As to the Starbucks and the potential purchase of the KFC, Mr. Rudisil can correct me if I'm wrong, but our approval today will have no bearing on, there's not going to be any commitment to what is happening with Starbucks or the KFC today. So that's just, I'm going to put that out there, that we don't have that guarantee if we do this today. I will note that I have aspirations, I guess you could say, for this whole area as far as economic development goes. And automotive uses does not really align with those visions. We have the hospital adjacent. There's the property to the east of this parcel is building more medical office buildings. It is a very, very tight space. And to have any kind of cars stacking in this area, in my opinion, would be problematic and would move us away from, we have the hospital and we have those apartments on the northwest corner of First and Manatee Ave. And I think that the goal for this area is to encourage the pedestrian friendliness and the multimodal versus encouraging automotive uses. So my thought is that I appreciate what is being proposed on the other side of the parcel, the retail and the potential for some commercial, smaller business space there. I think that would be very suitable and would go along with what is this area and what we're trying to maybe develop there. But at this moment, really not having any guarantees, having some problems with parking and accessibility, I'm struggling.
Ms. Coker.
Yeah, I kind of, this kind of goes along with what I was saying earlier about being business friendly, and he obviously thinks he's got a concept that's going to be, of course, we are concerned if things stack up in the drive-through, but we're just approving his ability to have a drive-through here. And if you, I did drive over to the site, and if you look, you've got KFC has a drive-through, you've got Starbucks has a drive-through, and you've got the car wash that's coming in. To say now you don't want to have it, I mean, you've got Wawa's across there. To say that you want this to be a pedestrian, I don't know that that seems very realistic. But I think that we've got a business, jobs, I want to support it, and, I'm in favor of it.
Ms. Coachman.
Thank you. Right now, though, we've heard that there's a potential that you've already purchased KFC. No, you potentially, and you already have purchased Starbucks. Okay, and you can bring another coffee. Okay. Anyway, can we ask what is potential for the other sites?
We already know.
I mean, what, we already know KFC is going to stay KFC? Okay, and Starbucks is going to stay Starbucks?
And the car wash is being built.
And the car wash, I know the car wash is in the middle. And Starbucks has a terrible problem with their.
Right. I think we can't be dialoguing with him sitting out there.
Okay,
for
I'm
that
sorry.
point, so
I didn't mean to.
that we could
Okay.
bring him back
I didn't
up.
mean to.
One of the things I want to go back to our initial, with the approval of all of this, I think is important to remember. We put some stipulations, or we asked for it, that they would try to do something with the Starbucks drive-through from backing up on First. If you just generally think, and I know we can't consider what-ifs, but do you really see two coffee shops staying there, especially with the owner of it, and the new, all these ones that are building all over the city, in the county, that are just little ones in parking lots now? And another thing that really is concerning to me is that we even want to consider that being a walkable area. With First Street, Manatee Avenue, Sixth Avenue, you don't see people walking across there. And I don't ever know, unless we put a walkable bridge, that would ever happen. So to make this where you would actually bring the coffee shop off of the roadway, and again, we can't make them say you have to open this one and close Starbucks, but if If you're in the business world, you really think that's gonna happen, it's gonna bring it back. And so I think this is actually making this area better. And I sat through the whole Wawa's situation when that came in, and I don't see many people walking to Wawa's, you know, from a standpoint across other big roadways. You don't see very, and I drive there a lot. And, you know, so I just think that this actually could make that corner better, especially if Starbucks decided to go away, and he owns that property, so. I got Vice Mayor Moore and then Ms. Coker.
I just, to the point about bringing in businesses, I want that too, but I want the right mixture. And it's notable to me that the people that own the property to the east are building what we want them to build there. They are building medical office park buildings. That's what it's currently zoned for. That's what we are trying to encourage in this area. And every time that we approve an automotive use in an area that is so tight and so congested, I think we're moving away from the goal of trying to revitalize this area. We have, hopes also of future FDOT action in this area that could potentially be beautifying this area. And while I can't count on that either, I can hope that we can move towards alleviating the congestion, the safety issues. And I just don't think that we get there with this. I want to encourage the businesses. I want to encourage the office parks. I want to encourage all of that. But I think the continued one-offs of automotive uses is not conducive to what we hope this area will be.
Well, when you say automotive uses as well, it's not a car lot.
so traffic.
It's
It's
a
gonna be
drive-through, which,
stacking up.
there's a drive-through right next to it right now that probably, I would imagine, in the afternoons would have the more traffic. The coffee shop would have the morning traffic more than anything, so. Ms. Coker.
Well, I just wanted to kind of comment, you had said you didn't see two coffee shops, but I actually do, because I think anybody wanting to go and get their coffee on their way, they're backed up at Starbucks, I'll go over to Rifle or whatever it is, or vice versa. So I think sometimes having that little concentration and having choices sometimes maybe would make it, because when you're driving, you're like, oh, I want to stop for coffee. Where should I stop? Well, my best chances are where there's two right there. So I don't know. And I think
Spread out the backup.
yeah, exactly.
It'll be too late. if
Attract
you-
it. But I do think you've already got all those drive-through theirs. I just don't see the idea of saying they have to be walkable. I think that the drive-throughs are there. That's kind of left the barn.
All right, Ms. Coachman.
I'm not so stuck on the walkability, but I have seen people from the apartments walk on the weekends, early morning, Saturday or Sunday, but walk over to Starbucks. But other than that, no. So, but I'm more concerned about just the congestion, the traffic, the cars stacking whenever time of day. It's just so tight in there, and we got to think about more than business. What about response time and abilities and so forth? If there's an emergency. And to your point, you're saying that if they see Starbucks is busy, then now go to the other. Well, now they've got to cross over Manatee Avenue, go around the hospital.
No, they'll be able to, it's an open.
There's, okay.
Yeah, they're gonna be able to.
Okay,
handle
so,
it.
okay, if you see beforehand.
Right, yeah.
Now, a car wash is gonna be there, so are they gonna be able to see that Starbucks is stacked up?
And we'll ask the applicant to come up. You can come up
Why don't you come up?
for some response that you've heard.
To answer several
Just
points.
state your name.
Abid Soedi from Bradenton, Florida.
Yep.
To answer several things, that is the busiest intersection in Manatee County, that corner. That Starbucks is the busiest Starbucks in the state of Florida, with over 382,000 paying customers on an annual basis.
I'm one of them. No.
Okay? You have many access points to this particular site, as well as your comments in regards to make this potentially a walkable site. Unless you eliminate 75% of the traffic, it is not possible. With regards to the medical spaces that you're talking about, medical facilities, to the east of the hospital, there are 3 large buildings that are vacant, that are all medical buildings. Those buildings can be reconstituted to be medical sites and built up or recommissioned to do exactly what you're proposing. With regards to the stacking, you have a 8-car stack in the drive-through, more than Starbucks, as well as that traffic is going to be off the main roads, which would cause less congestion for waiting into a coffee shop on 2nd and 5th. With regards to the police chief and the fire chief, in regards to actually getting to site, it would be easier for them, in my opinion, and they would be able to answer this better than I could, that if they were to pull their truck or their vehicles onto 5th or onto 2nd, you would not hinder State Road 64 or the main first at all, because you would be off the main roads and they would be able to do what they need to do.
Well, my comment was for them to be able to do what they need to do. I wasn't really even thinking about them, blocking the other streets.
It's strategically easier for them.
Ms. Barnaby?
Chief Kramer, Chief Gear, have you weighed in on this? You have thoughts?
Good.
I'll say, from the fire side of things, I mean, typically during any building project, we allow, or we review the plans along with the building department planning, and access for us is considered. In that area, I don't have any concerns with access for us. I think he's correct in our response. We can pull off the main road and be off on one of the side streets and be okay.
Chief Kramer?
I mean, my concern would be for traffic congestion if the queue lines, let's say, that are on the public roads back up significantly. We used to run into that at Starbucks a good bit. I don't think we do as much anymore because they're able to bring them into the property a little bit more. I think that might be something we want to look at. I know that was a concern when the council approved the Chick-fil-A out west, and they made a plan to basically put as many cars as possible.
Learning from the ice cream shop on 26th Street.
That's another one. It's
And
just
this one is,
popularity.
though, you're off 5th, so you're not stacking. Even if you were full in the drive-up, it wouldn't stack to 6th or is that correct?
If we had 20 cars stack up,
Right.
we would be on one of the main roads.
Yeah, it just
20 cars is quite a bit.
Yeah, it depends on where those cars are,
Coming from.
where the 21st car is coming from and the 25th car.
If you're stacking 20 cars, your business isn't doing very well to get the coffee out.
We're very popular.
As much as the only other concern I would have would be vehicles coming out onto 6th Avenue and turning the wrong way, because you see it coming out of Chick-fil-A, or I'm sorry,
Wawa.
KFC and Wawa. It always happens to be right when I'm right there, wondering why are you doing that? But
And it is
that
a
would be the
curved
concern.
exit, just so you know.
Well, that helps significantly. That actually eliminates any concerns I have with lots of signage saying go that way.
I just want to say I'm
Ms.
glad you're
Coachman.
bringing business. I mean, I'm excited about that.
Ms. Barnaby, finish it. Sorry.
When staff was up, they didn't talk about any recommended stipulations. So would the staff like to share the stipulations with us? I mean, I have them here. I can read them if you want me to, but.
Yeah, there aren't specific stipulations. However, you're approving the site plan conceptually. And so we do have written in there that the site plan and elevation shall be reviewed through the form-based code. And during the site improvement permitting process, the site plan shall be reviewed in compliance with the Florida Fire and Building Codes and the City of Bradenton form-based code and land use regulations as applicable. And then third is during the site improvement permitting phase, the site plan shall be reviewed to conform that it reflects to safe and logical traffic circulation and pedestrian access.
Thank you.
Mr. Perry,
Mayor,
we'll
just
go
to
to
go-
Vice Mayor Moore for
Just to opine, and Robin, this has to go through Public Works for the site plan.
Yes.
And she just kind of highlighted what that criteria is. as it relates to ingress, egress, radius exit ramps and things like that, that would prevent from turning the wrong way into streets, that would be handled through the circulation of our traffic management section that would have to approve those. And there's certainly some fairly technical nuances, I think, on this property because it's locations, because it's high volume traffic area, and obviously emergency access and things of that. But that would be something that really Public Works traffic engineering would look at as it relates to circulation and take that all into consideration. And you know how sometimes those things are not always viewed by the developer in the most the cooperative manner, but we have them for reasons, and I'm sure that we would be very, very careful in what we allowed to go in for traffic circulation as it relates to those ancillary adjacencies of Fifth Avenue Drive and Second Street, probably east. Right now, I mean, I go there pretty frequently, and we know it's a bunch of vacant lots with fairly interesting tree canopy that's along there. There's been a lot of homeless people and encampments in that area, and hopefully it'll improve a lot of that.
They've moved.
Hi, sorry, if I may add, I do want to point out that the site plan that was submitted with the special use application does show the construction of a retaining wall with a 3.5-inch fence on top on the western side, and that is what I referenced when I was discussing the special use criteria. So if that's important to you all, then it might need to go in as a stipulation. It might not be important, but it's just something I want to point
Saying
out.
between KFC and the property?
That is what they're showing on this proposed site plan that was originally submitted with the special use application. And I mentioned it when I discussed that they are challenged in meeting the landscape strip requirements.
So
and maybe that's not the best solution, but it was shown on this.
But looking at this right now, would you say that the top of this photo is north?
Yes.
Yep, so that's what I'm trying to really get the design of this building because.
You were shown a diagram by the applicant
Right.
who had north.
Right, so the parking lot that's there, does that back up to KFC?
If people were parking appropriately and, front end in, then the lights of the cars would be facing KFC.
Right, that's what I'm saying, so the parking lot is between the property of KFC and that, and you're saying there would be a wall there?
That's what is proposed on this site plan that was
Is that
originally
like
submitted.
just a fence, some sort of divider between the two properties?
Right.
Right, so when you're in this drive up, to leave it, you would go into the park, so you'd go circulate around the building, all the way around to get back where your cursor is there, to go to turn left onto 6th Avenue. If you wanted to go to Manatee Avenue, you'd have to turn right onto 5th Avenue, then go left on 2nd to get back to Manatee Avenue. So this isn't in the center of the property, but it's as close to the center of the property with circulation, stacking, and more cars. Where our place on 26th Street, you turn off and you're right in the drive-off off of 26th Street, and they're taking their orders, and that's why the 5 cars stack. 5 are in, and the 6 cars in the roadway. It would take a lot of cars to get to the roadway here. Not to 5th Avenue, maybe, drive east, but the circulating roads. I'm just trying to think, I'm supportive of bringing things that people are going to use. And we know coffee shops, if you say that Starbucks, which is, I don't know why it's changed, Chief Kramer, from what it used to be. You used to be able to see cars stacked up down First Street. And they've done a good job at changing that. And that was part of what we really pushed. If you get this property from the previous that came in front of us, that you would get the cars off Manatee Avenue, and I haven't seen any First backing up.
Agreed.
And I don't know what they've done differently, but it's been different.
I think most
Yep.
people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right, though they've learned how to not stack up on the road and get their horn blown at them.
I do.
So, all right, Vice Mayor Moore, and then we'll,
I have a question about that wall, too.
okay.
I-
Why don't we let her get to the
Oh,
wall
sure.
since she's up
I'm
there,
sorry, just about the
if
wall.
that's okay. Yeah.
What's the, okay, now I'm a little bit confused because he says he's not doing a wall. Are you wanting him to do a wall? What's the reasoning to do the wall? I'm just trying to understand that.
It's up to you all. I just wanted to correct the record that I was
It was presented to us in
discussing
that
something that was
site.
shown on the site plan as submitted. There have been other conversations with Public Works where he's shown conceptual plans and things like that, but this is the official site plan that was submitted with this application. And it's the only thing close to a separation strip. That's why I mentioned it, because the landscape separation strip is technically one of the special use requirements.
And is
If you
that
all-
important? I mean, what does that provide? I mean,
Well,
what?
usually if it's oftentimes a special use is something that is thought that might have negative externalities on adjacent properties. You know, you can imagine a drive-through could have, if it were next to like a single-family home, that person probably would appreciate some landscaping and some buffering.
Kentucky
You know,
Fried Chicken, it's not as
Yeah.
crucial
Right.
problem.
So, but I just want you to, if you
Yeah.
want it,
No.
make sure you
Okay.
mention it, because it was shown at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
That's all. I just was curious.
Vice Mayor Moore.
Well, I just want to clarify that we, again, whatever's happening with Starbucks or KFC is not anything that we are determining today, and I cannot rely on that. I also want to be clear that while we're talking about a coffee shop, we do not know for sure, there's no guarantee about that either. It could be anything that's going to be a drive-through, because that's what we're giving them permission to do. And so my reservation, and it is a strong one, is that this area is already a horrible traffic situation. And when we continually permit uses that stack cars, it is my opinion that we are going to exacerbate a problem that is already a problem. And Manatee County already has a problem with pedestrian safety. I'm not saying that I want to perform miracles up here, but I do think these are things that we should be considering. I want to encourage the businesses. I love the proposed, I think that the proposed variety retail to the south of the property is appropriate, absolutely. It's just the automotive uses in this particular area, in my opinion, is very problematic.
All right, any other questions or concerns?
You want a motion?
So anything else from staff or the applicant?
Nope.
All right, Councilwoman Coker.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 25-99 with staff's recommended stipulations.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we've had a lot of discussion. Anything else? Hearing none, we'll start the vote in Ward 3,
Yes.
4,
No.
5,
Yes.
1,
Yes.
2.
Yes.
Approved 4-1. Councilwoman Moore voting no. Thank you. All right, we're going to take a 5-minute recess. It is 10:12. We'll be back at 10:17. Thank you.
This is just a property. It's in R1 residential. It is a .3870 acre plot of land. It's right on Riverview Boulevard, and they want to put a dock across the street. As you can see here, this is the subject land right on Riverview, and the dock that they want to build is directly across. So they came in with a permit. City Land Use Regulation 3331 specifies that all docks proposed across from right-of-way needs a special use permission prior to installation. There was an existing dock that they came in to replace, and we didn't have any permits showing that it was approved in the first place, so we had to take it in as though it was brand new, which is why we are here. Once again, it's R1 zoning, future land use residential low, so everything's consistent with all the other residences and docks that you see in that area. The proposed request is for them to be allowed to have a dock. Scheduled chart 3211 highlights the allowed uses within various land use regulation zoning districts. The dock is a permitted usage by right, but they just have to come to you to get the permission to be able to rebuild it. This is, as you can see, the land area they want to rebuild. Recommended stipulations: prior docks that have come before planning council, and then you guys have had these same stipulations on them, so we kept it consistent. With the same 4 of the dock shall be kept in good working order and condition to not degrade from the value of nearby properties. Lighting must be up to FDEP requirements. All other applicable state and federal permits to be obtained. And any extension of utilities, staging of equipment and material or access shall require appropriate right-of-way permits. For consideration, you are encouraged to do what your heart decides, and it was passed through Planning Commission with a unanimous approval vote. And we also have someone here to speak on it.
The applicant have any? Yes, come forward, please. State your name and city for the residents, for the record.
Carl Callahan, Go-To Group, 114 25th Street West, Bradenton, Florida, representing the applicant. 3 things: we agree with staff presentation and stipulations, concur with the Planning Commission, and request the approval of the special use. That dock had been there for 40 years and just requesting to be able to rebuild it.
All right, any questions? Hearing none, we'll go open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak? Anyone wishing to speak? Anyone wishing to speak? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. Chair will entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Barnaby.
I'd like to move for approval of the request with the stipulations amended by the Planning Commission and presented here today.
Second by Mrs. Coachman. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll start the vote for approval in Ward 4.
Yes.
5.
Yes.
1.
Yes.
2.
Yes.
3.
Yes.
Carries 5-0. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Item 7C is the public hearing for Resolution 2502 regarding a group care facility.
Welcome.
Hello again. So what we have here, as stated, it is for a group care facility to be built at 1512 Ballard Park Drive, Brandon Wink, City Planner. This is a bigger plot. It is 0.4590 acres, and it is in the form-based code area T40, General Urban Open. As you can see on this map, probably should have made it a little bit bigger. We're talking about subject parcel that is in yellow. The applicant owns the parcel right above it, highlighted over in black, or outlined in black. And they are looking to do a concept that they'll explain more when they come up to where they're trying to do this group care facility. As you can see by the site plan that was submitted as a conceptual site plan, what they have proposed, once again, in the yellow is the subject parcel. What they have existing is outlined in black. And the form-based code use table shows that group care facility is a use case not listed, which is why they have to come before you for a special use permit. The applicant, Solve Maternity Homes, is proposing the group care facility. The current land, shown as the existing and outlined in black, has a 2,800 square foot residential maternity home and an 800 square foot office building. For the zoning map, it is in T40, and the future land use is UCBD, which would give them the proper density to be able to try and do something similar to this. This is what the yellow outlined subject parcel looks like. It is currently undeveloped, and you can see the existing buildings that they had in the parcel they own to the north. For special use standards, all special uses shall be subject to regulations. Landscape separation strip of 10 feet in width shall be provided along all property lines. That's something that is noticeably not part of the proposal because they own both the properties. And because it is a use, if the use is listed as specific use standards, that section must be met. We have maternity Solve Solve Maternity Homes here to be able to tell more about this.
Okay, the applicant? Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us. I'm Peggy Kerwin, Executive Director of Solve Maternity Homes. Do you need my address?
No, just the town of residence.
Oh, Bradenton.
Okay, thank you.
And I am happy to be here this morning on behalf of Solve Maternity Homes. We are a longstanding nonprofit group residential home for pregnant women and parenting women in our community. We are entering our 50th year in 2026, and we have been located at the current property that was displayed for you for 43 years. So we are petitioning and requesting special use permit for the property that is behind us at 1512 Ballard Park so that we can expand our services in the community to pregnant and parenting women and families and helping these women to become better community members and good parents.
Any questions? Okay, thank you. Staff, anything more before we go to the public hearing?
Only thing more from staff is that it was passed through Planning Commission with a unanimous approval vote.
Okay, thank you. All right, at this time, we'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak? Anyone wishing to speak? Anyone wishing to speak? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. Chair will entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Coachman.
Motion to approve Resolution 25102.
Second.
Second, I heard Mr. Schuessler.
It's a choir.
All right, any other discussion? Ms. Barnaby?
Mr. Mayor, I'm very familiar with this organization as Helen Catteray was a family friend. You all do amazing work, and I'm happy to support this.
Vice Mayor Moore?
I also just wanted to note that in this particular instance, we have the benefit of seeing them operate their nonprofit very successfully in this area, so it's very appropriate, in my opinion, to permit them to continue doing that work.
Mr. Schuessler?
Mr. and Mrs. Kerwin, having driven by your facility every day, I just wanted to thank you and commend you for the support and life-changing care that you give daily to perhaps our most vulnerable citizens in the community, that for at-risk pregnant women and teens. And I really look forward to this facility upgrade and you continuing your mission and Solve's mission for the next 100 years. Thank you.
Ms. Coker?
Well, I can't say it much better, but yeah, I want to definitely give the appropriate kudos to Solve House. I think they've been a great member of our community and probably been responsible for a lot of great stories that otherwise might not have turned out so well. So definitely in support of this.
Great. All right. I think we all agree on that part of it and the ditto with everything. So hearing no more discussion, we'll start the vote in Ward 5 to approve.
Yes.
1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4.
Yes.
Carries 5-0. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk.
Item 7D is the first reading for ordinance 4065, an ordinance of the City of Bradenton, Florida, amending Bradenton Land Use Regulations, Chapter 5.0, Accessory Uses, Structures and Signage, Section 5.1.2.7, Fences and Hedges, to modify allowable residential fence height and location, to provide for temporary fences, to provide for fences on vacant property, and to clarify the limitations on retaining walls, amending Section 5.2.2.4, Fences and Hedges, to modify allowable non-residential fence height and location, to provide for temporary fences, to provide for fences on vacant property, and to clarify the limitations on retaining walls, and amending Chapter 10, Definitions, to modify definitions related thereto, providing for codification, providing for repeal of ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. And the second reading and public hearing is scheduled for January 14th.
Okay,
Item 7E is the first reading for ordinance 4071, an ordinance of the City of Bradenton, Florida, amending Chapter 18, Article 9, Section 18-241 of the Code of Ordinances to modify certain provisions of the International Property Maintenance Code, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for an effective date, and that is also scheduled for January 14th.
all right, thank you. Moving on.
Item 8A is the DeSoto Heritage Festival Grand Parade.
Good morning. Please state your name
I am
and position
Kelly.
for the record.
I am Kelly Thomas, and I'm the coordinator for the Event Review Committee. The Event Review Committee has had an opportunity to take a look at this application. It is for the Grand DeSoto Heritage Festival Grand Parade on April 25th, 2026. This is just the parade you're looking at today. There will be a block party later, but they're separate applications, so it's just the parade today. Event Review Committee does recommend approval as the application is presented.
All right, and we do have the applicant here. Any questions of the applicant, or?
I guess my only question is any changes, because obviously we love everything, so.
We're going to go forward with what we have here, but we have some exciting changes I think are going to help with the flow of traffic that's going to have, we're
We learned a lot
probably
from
not
last
going to have the 5K this year. So, and we are considering the possibility of moving the stage right across the street facing downtown, really bringing everybody back into the old main area. And but as we have the permit today, we're ready to go, and we're really excited about the opportunities. And you know, it was a good parade last year. We managed to get all 144 floats across at 8 o'clock, which was amazing. So we're going to have a great parade again this year. Hope to have more participation.
Good weather.
Good weather.
Yes.
But we thank everybody for your help with us.
Mr. Schuessler, did you have anything?
No.
Nope.
Sorry.
Okay.
Did
All
not.
right.
I know.
Chair will entertain a motion to approve the DeSoto Heritage Festival Grand Parade as stated.
I'll make a motion.
All right, Ms. Coker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Coachman.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Barnaby.
I just wanted to clarify with the city attorney. My husband is a member of the DeSoto group. Now, he doesn't get any money from them. As a matter of fact, it costs him money to do it, so I'm assuming I can vote on this.
I'm not aware of any reason you couldn't.
Okay.
All right, no further discussion. We'll start the vote in Ward 1.
Yes.
2.
Yes.
3.
Yes.
4.
Yes.
And 5.
Yes.
Carries 5-0. Madam,
you.
thank you very much. Madam Clerk?
Item 8B is request for expenditure of tree mitigation funds and guidance regarding the 2026 tree giveaways.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning again. Jamie Schindel for the Planning Department, and I have been sworn. I don't know if that's important now. So I do have a revision for this that I need to present here on the floor. I received a new invoice on the 4th of December for the December giveaway, and I have copies of that for you all.
Give to Madam Clerk, and she'll pass them out.
You want to put
We already get one. Oh, that's ours. Okay.
So you can see it's, well, hopefully you can see, I'm not sure. But it went up just slightly. The December one went up to $5,296.69, bringing the total for all the months to $14,087. Oh,
And that comes out of the tree fund.
yes. So this is a request for expenditures from the tree fund for these, fall giveaways, 2 of which have taken place and 1 of which is coming up the Saturday after Christmas.
Any questions?
Mr.
Yes,
Mayor.
ma'am, Ms. Barnaby.
Ms. Underwolf, the balance in the tree mitigation fund, are you aware of what that balance is?
As of September 30th, when we requested it for our Tree City USA designation, it was $476,566.82.
So we have the funds to cover those out of the tree fund.
Yes, our tree fund is
Healthy,
healthy, yes.
growing.
Trees.
Growing.
So with these, approving these 3 invoices for 2025, and then we would do a second motion to approve going forward in 26?
Yeah, so as far as 2026 goes, the tree board was hoping to get some guidance from y'all as to what you want to see moving forward. They were doing these, usually they do maybe 1 or 2 giveaways a year, but with the hurricanes, they stepped it up. But it is a lot of work, of course, for them to be out there once a month. So kind of what, if you all have any feedback, if you would like to approve some funding for next year, that would be
So my
fantastic.
question would be, since we aren't the agent doing it, it's Keep Manatee Beautiful, and we just basically give them funding, what does Keep Manatee Beautiful think that we need to do?
Excitingly, we have a representative, and they are also the chair of our tree board, so I will invite her up.
So, and then my question would relate to that would be, is there enough, I mean, is there a up to amount you'd like us to see? You know, obviously, we have over almost $500,000, or close to over 400,000. I don't think that should be sitting in the bank. I think that should be growing trees, which doesn't help us on Palmasola Causeway, but we'll get from there.
Again, Jennifer Hoffman, Keep Manatee Beautiful. I'll go through this as quickly as I can. The reason this was revised is we did an invoice based on what they could provide, and what we do is we get back with them on what trees went well the month before, and that's why it was revised. He had a couple that didn't do so well, so we replaced them with others that we know are popular. So we always try and have things out there that the people want. That being said, we average just over $5,000 per month, giving 200 trees away the last Saturday of every month. I would like all of you to know, I'm sure you know this already, but restating it, we do not make any money on this. Every dollar goes straight to the trees. We have volunteers and my staff go out, as well as members of the board when they can, the Bradenton Tree Board, to populate it. So I just want you to know that it's 100% going where it's supposed to go, which is trees to backyards. So I am happy to continue doing it. Realize Bradenton Farmers Market loves having us. They've designated a street for us at this point, so everybody knows exactly where to go on the last Saturday to come get your trees. We're happy to continue doing it. If you would like me to not have to come to you every couple of months, if you would do a blanket up to $6,000 per month, we won't use that, but that would cover whatever the variance is and give you the opportunity to do an entire year's worth.
Right, so obviously at the market, they're open 8 months.
Okay, so there you go.
So do you feel that it will some way kind of peter out if you did it every month, or would every other month be a better way to do it? I'm just trying to think. I know people love it when you're walking around the market with the trees, but sometimes things will get a little bit too much. And is there better months for
It
people planning them?
hasn't petered out yet. I will say this, though, if you do the up to amount, that allows us to pull back to 150 trees or 100 trees if we see that happen without having to come back to you.
And then again,
Does that make sense? I mean, I'm happy to.
Yeah, and I'll get to Ms. Coker in a moment, but I don't know if I'm comfortable giving up to $48,000 out of the tree fund, because it'll start to deplete it a little quicker than,
Okay.
I'm just
Whatever
saying,
you
I
guys
think that might
choose.
be a little much. That's just my opinion.
No,
And
absolutely.
But is there like up to
Do you want to go
25
through
or
July
30,000?
and then
Yeah.
reevaluate when it comes back again? Isn't June the
Let me
last
hear it, Ms.
one?
Coker, what do you think?
Something like that?
Oh, my comment was going to be more of a suggestion as someone who has not had a lot of luck with her trees, that maybe I would be willing to pay someone to come and help me put it in, because maybe I don't do it right. It might be a way for you to make money. But anyhow, that's what my card was about.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I would feel more comfortable, and then you can see if we did like up to the season 25 or 30,000 this year, you know, where then you would say certain month you might do 2,000, next month you might do 6,000, but I'm trying to think of logistical of how, you know, because we want the trees out, and I do believe that we don't need to be sitting on $400 and some thousand unless we have a plan. And I know Mr. Williams and I have talked about spending some of that money, but there's so many restrictions how you spend it to make our city look better as well. And we've got Manatee Avenue and
we
you know,
work with
6th
you guys on
Avenue
that
and,
stuff too, so.
and the
But
trees.
what about
and then
time of year of planting some of these trees? I mean, if you get
We
into the
always take
really
that
hard cold.
into consideration. We only use native and adaptive trees, so once they're established, you ought to be able to leave them alone. Sorry.
Miss Barnaby.
But that being said, there are trees that we only give away at certain times of year based on when is a good time to plant them.
Ms.
So
Barnaby
we
and
do
then
take
Vice
all
Mayor
that in.
Moore.
Well, I'm ready to make a motion, but if
Vice
Ms.
Mayor
Moore
Moore.
has questions.
I was just gonna, actually, to that point, I know we lost quite a few trees in the hurricanes in 24.
We lost 30% of our canopy.
Yeah, so do we need, I mean, I kind of like the suggestion because perhaps we need to talk to Mr. Williams about also spending those funds on replacing what we lost in the hurricanes. I want to make sure that we have that out as well. I love the giveaways though, too. So maybe through, I forget when we stop for the summer with the market.
In May, through May.
So
Oh,
we
through
could
May.
do.
So
We could
in
approve these
reality,
and then.
do we have through this season, you know, and, because we've already got done October, November, December. So
Correct.
you've got now 5 months. Do you feel that doing 5 events is the right time to do it?
Yes, because this is the growing time of year.
Right. So if you said 5 times 5 is 25,000, and then, because again, then it goes, October goes to our new budget year, even though this isn't a little different, but I would feel comfortable doing it through this season of the market up to 25,000. But Ms. Barnaby, you had a motion?
May I request to
Yes.
30, just in case there's little ups and downs, and I won't use the whole 30, I promise.
Ms. Barnaby?
Well, I was looking at making a motion that we support the tree giveaway through the rest of the public market, which I believe would take us to May, and then look at what that, when we're in our budgeting cycle again, looking at what that means.
And getting it on the cycle.
Right.
So you're saying up to 30,000?
That would be my motion.
Yes, thank you.
I would second that.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the tree giveaways for 26 through the
Oh,
May, through the May.
wait.
Oh,
I see.
Hello, I'm sorry. I just wanted to mention, and Jennifer, is there an intention to do a special giveaway for Earth Day or Arbor Day?
and the 250th year, yeah.
Yes, there is, but that will be a different request, because that won't be through you, that will be through Keep Manatee Beautiful. So
Okay.
that will come in front of you before April.
Okay, great.
All right.
Sorry.
So we have a motion for,
Mayor, just one more question.
Yes.
Do we have any requests for the city for some of our construction projects to use the tree board for?
Should they come through us?
Yeah.
Yes. Have they come through us? No, but Ross works with us if we
I
have
know he does,
specific
Jen.
questions.
That's kind of what I'm asking.
Yes.
And I know with the new police station, some other things, there might be.
We'd love to get involved with that, because we have arborists, we have Forest Service, we have all kinds of people very, very interested in what the city does with its canopy. So anything you want to bring in front of the board, we're happy to even informationally hear about what the city is doing on their projects.
Excellent. And you guys assist us with some of those trees, obviously.
Oh, we do.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I thought was important for the
Public to hear, yeah.
Public to know.
all right, so we had a motion by Ms. Barnaby, and the second was by Ms. Coachman. All right, for approving up to 30,000 going through the market in May of 2026. All right. Hearing no further discussion, we'll start the vote in Ward 2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
5,
Yes.
1.
Yes.
Approved 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Happy holidays.
Mr. Perry?
Sorry, I need,
Oh,
I
wait,
need a
wait.
clarification. Does that include the request that was before you for the fall?
For
Pay
the,
those
To
invoices.
pay these
oh, yeah, to
invoices.
pay those invoices.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
Okay,
Okay,
so
that
we do
was
need the
separate.
motion.
I'll
So
make a
a separate
motion
motion, that was the
I'll make
first
a-
motion for 26.
Yes, I'm
Now
so
we need to
sorry.
approve it. You're right.
I'll be happy to make the motion that we pay the tree invoices as presented to us today
For 2025,
for
right?
2025, yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Coker. All right, hearing no further discussion, start the vote in Ward 3,
Yes.
5,
Yes.
1,
Yes.
2.
Yes.
Carries 4-0 with Ms. Moore out of the room. Thank you. Thank you, yeah, we kind of got ahead of it.
Yeah, we
All right,
got excited. We just.
So now,
wanted to do
Community
the fun
Redevelopment
stuff.
Agency Shuffleboard Court, Madam Clerk, I'm sorry.
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to remind you that
One-
there is a time certain
Right.
meeting. Thank you.
Yep. So you have 14 minutes.
Less than that. Mr. Mayor, City Council Jeff Burton, Community Redevelopment Agency.
If you don't
just
speak
to-
in that microphone,
Soft-spoken.
It is,
you know better.
it is discriminatory against tall people. So I'm just here to give you an update on the sale of property. The city asked the CRA to represent it in the sale of 1403, 1525 Ballard Park Drive, and 907 15th Street West, in accordance with Florida Statute 163-380, the disposal of property in a community redevelopment area. The land was added to the surplus list in August, and then right after that, the CRA was given the authority to represent the city in its redevelopment. The sale of land will not affect the current contract that the city has for the property. We want to make that clear, that's between the city and the folks that are using the property, and this will work parallel to that, and will work in conjunction with that, and will have no effect on that contract. And also, just to remind you that the city currently generates, since it is city-owned property, it is off the tax roll, it generates $1 a year to the city in value in the form of the lease. And the CRA provided analysis to you for every $10 million spent by the private sector once the property is redeveloped. And we estimate approximately a $30 million project on the site. The city itself and the county, over the lifespan of the CRA, will see about $180,000, and that's in taxes and 5% retainer from the CRA's increment revenue. And the CRA will net generate roughly, and I have it right here, $2.8 million over its lifespan. So you can see that this property in the downtown is a viable economic piece. We're looking to do mixed-use housing to vary a little bit away from what the city has done in the past with 100% workforce or 100% affordable. That is a way to do it, but we feel a much better way to do it is to have more of a mixed market, mixed income, and even a mixed use if that works out at the site. Our next step is we had one applicant in the process. We followed state statutes. We will begin to negotiate with that applicant. They have done work in the city before, and just so you know, since the city owns the property, the sale of the land will come back to the city for approval. The CRA is just representing the city. We do not have the authority to sell your land. So that's up to the mayor and the city council to determine if the deal is a good deal or not. We will also bring back to you a cost-benefit analysis showing you the estimated benefit to the city, the CRA, and the county, and we can even throw in the school board to show you what value this land will bring economically. and to the tax base. So just wanted to bring this forward, let you know that we have finished this part of the sale piece, and that we are moving forward in the negotiations. So don't expect any questions, but if you have them, I'm willing to answer them.
Just an update to keep moving forward on
Yes, sir.
where we are. All right, thank you. Mr. Perry, try to get
Thank you, Mayor.
a couple of the other things done.
Yeah, emergency procurement report.
Yep.
So I'll pull that up. Basically, I'm required to submit to you any sort of emergency purchases that were approved by myself pursuant to policy, and for this particular period, they need to be reported at the next regularly scheduled council meeting. I have 2 to report. You may be familiar with the incident that happened down on 26th Street West, where we had a water main break. I believe it was back in September. I was actually out there. We had to enlist contract support as it relates to the repair itself. It was Woodruff and Son. This expenditure of $261,972 was within the estimated range when they actually looked at the project on their estimation the day of and the days after. They had to basically do fairly significant underground pipe excavation, fitting curb inlets there for storm drain, asphalt repair, and labor cost. And so that is the first item, and we received that invoice, I want to say, on 11/19/25. I believe it's been paid. The second item basically was for a water treatment plant transfer pump that was an emergency repair. It was deemed critical and necessary to include our water treatment and distribution system and continuity of operations there. And that was certified by our engineering staff, engineer P.E. Christopher Eccles, and I went ahead and approved that for a transfer pump in the amount of $93,450,000.
All right, thank you. Any questions? Seeing none, we're going to take a recess till 11 o'clock when we come back with our time certain Ironwood water main assessment. Thank you.
Mayor?
Bring the meeting back to order here at 11. Mr. Williams?
Thank you, Mayor. Lance Williams, Chief Operating Officer for the city. So obviously the meeting is about the Ironwood water main replacement. I'm going to do a kind of a quick historical presentation just to make sure that everybody understands where we started officially to where we are today, and then some of the decisions that we need to make today. We do have representatives from the property management company, they're Ironwood's attorney. We have Julie Santa Maria here from our financial advisor group. With Kim Clay back here, who's been a part of it from what I understand from the inception. So if we have questions, we certainly have the right people, in the room to be able to answer them. So the first slide is basically the history. So back in September of 14th of 2022, in a council meeting, Mr. McClellan, who was a former public works director, presented to City Council that the Ironwood Community Association, otherwise known as ICA, inquired about the city taking over the operation and maintenance of their currently private and aging water system. The ICA's attorney, Mr. Thompson, explained that ICA does not have the expertise to properly maintain the current water system. And then there was a motion to authorize administration through Public Works to engage in the engineering firm Jones Edmonds, yes, that should be you, for design, pre-construction, construction engineering services, and to obtain sufficient guarantees to ensure reimbursement to the city for payments made on behalf of Ironwood Pine Brook Water System Improvement Project, and the motion passed 5-0. So those are verbatim from the minutes of that specific meeting. So with that, moving forward, in January 18th of 2023, there was another council meeting that we had a reimbursement agreement for the Ironwood Community Association. Water main replacement project was presented as a consent agenda item and was approved 5-0. To date, all of the agreed reimbursements have been collected. There is another stipulation in that reimbursement that we'll have to finalize in our financing if we do decide to move forward. But for the engineering services, we have been reimbursed to those services to date. On January 30th of 2023, the notice to proceed was issued by Mr. McClellan to Jones Edmonds to begin the design on the water system. I know you can't really see this on the screen, so each council member actually has a copy of the financial example. So in November 11th, 2023, we initiated the services of the city's financial advisor, PFM. Financial Advisors, LLC, our representative is Julie Santa Maria, to provide a preliminary assessment example. This is actually an updated version of that example. We added a 10-year option. So there's a 10-year, a 15-year, and a 20-year option to what you have in front of you today.
Mr. Williams, I'm going to just get to why we're talking about the 10-year option, because we were in Tallahassee doing some stuff, and I got an angry phone call from an email, and I reached out to the person, and I did ask in that meeting with the group that was there that day before that we add a 10-year, not saying that I was forcing a 10-year, but we were just adding it. And once I talked to that angry resident there, he realized that I told him that it wasn't that I thought of it, but maybe there was an opportunity if it would be better, because ripping off the Band-Aid in 10, 15, or 20 years, it might be easier for the future. But I obviously am very conscious of the cost it would add per year of a 10-year. So it wasn't that I was advocating for that. I just wanted to give options where it could actually make it better. And I'll go into why I think some options are better.
Sure.
More options are better because of what I'm living through where I live today, with the same type of thing that's on the tax bill.
Okay, thank you. All right, and moving on. So July 3rd of 2024, we had 100% design was submitted by Jones Edmonds. Our engineering staff reviewed the final design. So at that point, we were accepting the design by the engineering firm. I put in a little clause in there about the hurricane season, because when you see the next date, there is a rather large time gap. And it's, hurricanes come, we switch our priorities, and that's the reason. So so our next date is April 17th of 2025, project advertisement. So after an extensive review by City Engineering, ICA, and the city attorney, the water main replacement project was actually sent out for an invitation to bid through our purchasing department. May 23rd to 27th of 2025, the bid opening and results were provided to Jones Edmonds. July 3rd, Jones Edmonds basically reviewed the bid openings and provided a bid evaluation letter. July 7th, 2025, letter of recommendation was provided to the city attorney and ICA. Coming up a little closer today, so September 30th, 2025, meeting with ICA and the city of Bradenton. So city administration met with ICA property manager, association president, attorney, and an attorney to discuss preliminary city requirements. So this is kind of a crucial point in this process. We wanted to ensure that each property owner within the ICA community fully understood the historical background and the status of their currently privately owned and aged drinking system, water system, and the complexity of the water replacement project, because this isn't an easy task. Along with their financial responsibility and obligation for the project, and to understand that the ICA Board of Directors asked the City of Bradenton to design, construct the new drinking water system, as well as provide the operations and maintenance afterwards. So if this moves forward and gets approved, we will actually replace the system, and then at that point, the city will own the water distribution system, but it will be brought up to the city standards.
Mr. Williams, that system was originally put in by the developer,
Correct.
and it's been a private system.
Ever since.
And for us to be able to take it over, it has to be brought up to our standards to take it over.
Absolutely.
And that's a policy that I think the city has had, certainly had it when I was on the council before, dealing with water systems, dealing with roadways. If someone has something that was done privately by a developer and wants the city to take it over, they have the responsibility to bring it up to our standards, and then we have the opportunity to accept it.
To accept it, you are correct.
And then to maintain it from there forward.
From there
Right.
forward, correct. Yep, absolutely.
Mayor, I just want to comment on that a little bit. The current composition, it's a water distribution system, really. And the current composition is asphalt concrete, which is not a very desirable, it's a deteriorating type of product, and we can't replace it with asphalt concrete any further. And so it's both, kind of taking it out of the aged composition of the system, as well as improving the system with the proper sizing and composition of materials and valves and things like that. Ultimately, we will maintain and operate it. Currently, if that system fails, as I'm sure it has over the years, the associations, the master association is responsible for that. And when you call up a contractor to fix it, they don't like working on those types of old, aged, defective composition systems. And so moving forward, we would have the responsibility for that. How that's paid for is basically across the board of our system through our rate for selling the water, the maintenance and operations of the system.
Well, I think one of the most important things and we may, and this is where I've asked from when I met several years ago as the mayor, talked about it as a council person for a lot of years when I was Ward 2 council. I know Ms. Barnaby's had many conversations about it. It's about perfecting the record per se, because we've had people that are upset with us because we're not taking care of their water system because they think the city owns it. Well, right now, all we do is supply it to the backflow, and then it goes into their own distribution system. That distribution system is broke now. And when millions of gallons filled up the lakes, and nobody knew it was filling up the lakes years ago, which caused problems because their ponds or lakes were too full, and it was costing them all money because they all divide up the money. It's more about, my opinion, of perfecting it. So somebody comes in 10 years from now and says, why am I paying this money? I just bought this. The city shouldn't charge me. That we can say, no, this was the associations coming to us to help fix it because they can't get somebody to fix it. They couldn't get people to fix things when they were broke because when you have 10, whatever the master boards are, the master board with all the other associations, and it's difficult where I think it's a great thing that we come up with it, but as Ms. Barnaby said, we have to get it in working condition up to our standards. The roads were the same way in there a lot of years ago, that the city didn't own the roads originally, and then we took them over. And the reason they haven't been paved, because we've been waiting for this. And one of the gentlemen in the room there that I don't think's on the board anymore, we met during COVID. So COVID slowed it. Then now the hurricane slowed it. But I think we're at a point where we just want it to be on the record that this is a good deed by everybody working to it. We're trying to work with it, but we all know what happens to good deeds usually. They don't go unpunished. So, but if we have a perfection on the record, if this council decides to approve it, then it's there, but there is going to be a cost assessed to every home property that's there. And then it's, how do you want to do it? And one thing that we've talked about constantly, whatever decides 10, 15, or 20 years, and is there the payoff? Somebody can just say, I don't want to pay it. I just want to Because it will, if they don't have that on their tax roll, it may make their property more valuable at the moment. And it will have to be disclosed, as Councilwoman Coker and Vice Mayor Moore talk about when you're selling. It should have already been being disclosed, but a lot of people, those things don't get it disclosed, but they should be disclosed when somebody new buys what this is and why it is, because that's the law if there's something that's unique. So again, it's just more, I just felt it was important from a lot of things I've been through over the years, and my wife doesn't allow me to be on an HOA board anymore because that's harder than being mayor. But we joke about it. But no, you know me, I'll do anything. But what I was going to say from my standpoint is I live in Riverdance. Riverdance was on the sand pile. The sand pile was leased to a company. When Riverdance was built, for the remainder of the lease, every Riverdance resident pays that lease payment now for the rest of basically our lives living at Riverdance. Right now, it's about $350 a year. It goes up by the CPI or whatever all the is, and it's gone up 3%. So every year, now that I live in that building and the position I'm in, I have to explain it at the end of, when the tax bills come. And, I'm not on the board, but with the position I'm in, even to some of the same people over and over again. But when they purchased, it was already there. So that's basically what it is. It's an assessed part on the tax bill from the city of Bradenton. That's basically what this is going to be. The good thing for Ironwood is it's going to end one day, but it's not going to end for whatever term they decide.
Exactly.
So that's just a synopsis. I don't know if there's anything else. I mean,
Question?
Yes, ma'am.
I apologize. What year were these places built?
I want to
Early
say, I think it was
70s?
around 1971.
It started in the late 60s. They started moving the property and things out there. And then Ironwood was built, and then Pine Brook was built after Ironwood was built.
Okay, not to muddy the waters, no pun intended. What about the wastewater? Is that on a private system as well?
No, I believe the wastewater is ours, is that correct? As the city's, yeah.
It's
We
already.
own the operation and maintenance.
I'm just thinking as we're doing the plumbing, because of all of the old wastewater, I just didn't know where we were with all that.
Well, I think there's one more thing to point out, is that this water distribution system will bring the potable water, the drinking water, to the meters or the backflow preventers, into the buildings themselves, that this project does not address that.
Okay.
Yep, those are
Okay.
separate individual units, and so it's the
Okay.
distribution. And I did misspeak, I think I said asphalt concrete. It's actually asbestos.
Asbestos concrete.
Yep.
Okay.
I think one of the things now that's confusing sometimes too is there's one master meter at the backflow for all of the HOAs, and they just split it up.
Right.
So I've had people complain to me,
We built, yeah.
I'm only there 3 months a year. Why do I have to pay the same thing when somebody lives there 12 months a year? So that's going to change to building wise, because each building now will get their own. So if one building doesn't have anybody living in it, it's $100. The other building has everybody living in it, it's $1,000. It's divided amongst their owners. And so again, we're still going to get a lot of questions. I think 2, 4, 5 years from now, when that new resident moves in and says, well, why is the city charging me for something I should have already had? I just want the record perfected when none of us are sitting here. But good, it will sunset, whatever they decide time-wise, so.
And it's an easy reference.
Right, it's an easy reference, but you know how that goes in politics. So, all right, so I've had a lot more time at this, but,
I think you might have a few more.
oh, you're not
I'm not
finished?
done.
Oh, okay.
I thought your history was
Can't
good.
be done. I mean, I don't need to keep going.
I'm curious to see what else he wants to say.
Right, know when
Good,
you're
right.
ahead, so.
All right, real quick. So September 30th, meeting with ICA, so just some of the things that we required them to do to ensure that we perfected the record again, and to ensure that each homeowner knew exactly what was happening and the why behind it. So the Master Association was to provide each homeowner an informational letter detailing the historical background, description, dates of the process, to procure the services, cost of design and construction, and the owner financial responsibility associated with the total project. They did that. We approved the letter. It was done, completed on October 3rd. Certification by each association president/representative There are 15 of them. And that certification was completed through a notarized affidavit by each president or representative of that particular association. So they basically are saying, yes, we provided each homeowner with this informational letter that gave the historical background, the financing, the responsibilities, and kind of the why that we were doing it.
How many total homeowners are there that this will affect?
647.
647. So, and again, I see that we had approximately 40 to 50 property owners there.
To their community.
So that's why I want more information out than less, because even though every one of them probably got the letter, they won't complain until they get the first tax bill. And, well, why is this? So we've at least tried. We've done, because 50 representatives of 600 is not a very good, and, you know, unless they disagreed with it. But we know that. And again, I'm just trying to, more information on the record is better long-term for probably not even us as much, but the next group.
And were those certified letters, certified mail?
Certified mail,
Yeah,
correct.
to the property owner of record
Property owner.
with the HOA.
Correct.
Yep.
Yes, sir. All right. So this is kind of the finale. So our next steps, one, we have to determine if City Council would like to have additional actions by the ICA Masters Association or the property management prior to the project commencement. I think, we've pretty much vetted that out as much as we possibly can. Determine at some point a payback period, and this isn't in order of what needs to happen, but we have to determine a payback period. One, the assessment can be paid in one lump sum up front.
It can be
It
if
can.
they want to.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't affect anything else.
Correct.
Other than they're paid off, no assessment on that property.
Yep. Yeah, so
Yearly.
the total assessment's roughly $5,700. If somebody wants to write a check for that and pay that off, and without going through the financing piece, they are able to do that. Secondly, it can also be paid off early. There's no prepayment penalty. Obviously, they do a pro rata kind of amount with the principal and then with the interest, but they can pay it off early without any penalty. So if we have a situation where a homeowner is selling their property and the buyer says, hey, you need to pay this off before I buy it, that can all be worked out through the closing. So, then finally, City Council approval or denial of the ICA water main replacement project to include maintenance and operation after the replacement project is completed. So if council does decide to move forward and picks the term which they'd like to see the financing, administration will come back along with Public Works with specific financing discussions, a little more detail, and then we'll have Ms. Santa Maria talk a little bit more detail as to how this will work as far as the assessment goes and timing and so forth. And that is all I have.
So, questions to Mr. Williams, and I'm going to do something that I just kind of thought of now, but yes, ma'am.
Is there any benefit to, as far as the 20-year assessment, would there be any benefit to looking at a longer period of time to make that annual amount less?
And maybe Julie can speak to it. I mean, I don't know how far we can extend it out, but that really is a decision of how far do you want to extend the city, essentially. Okay. Because we're paying for it. So whether we determine, and again, this is where the specifics of the financing will come in, whether we pay it out of a reserve, whether we go out to a bank and get a loan to do it, it really kind of determines what we can get, one, and then two, how far does council want to extend the repayment period for, the city.
Pay a lot more, obviously, if you go farther out.
Right, yeah.
But I didn't know if if there's a, affordability
Well,
component.
they came up with 15 to 20. I
Okay.
added 10.
Oh, great.
Right,
Okay,
we added
great.
10, yeah.
Yeah. I asked to add to 10, not to do it, but to give.
Right.
Right, as an option, yep. All right, any other questions for me?
I just think it's important, Mayor, to point out that really what's happening here is the assessment is being through the legal authority of the city. That's the only people that can really levy. The term is levy an assessment. We levy that assessment on the property owners through the tax collector, basically. And so it's on everybody's tax bill. But we're levying it at the request of the residents. That's what has to be on this record right now. We are not just coming up saying that we're going away from, I don't know, septic systems and things like that, and we're gonna levy a special assessment. This is being levied at the request of the residents and the homeowners of that area. If they don't want to do it, what the option would be to continue with an age system to pay for the cost associated with the maintenance and operation and repair going forward. And I would imagine that they could also look at trying to get a private entity to do this whole financing, but we've under the impression that they wouldn't take it on without the guarantee of repayment because of default and things like that. Here, the recourse is basically a tax lien. If you don't pay your property tax bill, you get a tax lien.
Yeah, and the actual project, really kind of failed to mention in the presentation, the actual construction piece of this project is $3.5 million to do the replacement.
With significant escalation.
With escalation.
As estimated.
Right.
Yep.
So, and also though, one of the things that neighborhood has wanted, obviously, is repaving of the roads. We've been holding off on that. So they'll get the water system and then on top of that, get the roads repaved. But there was no reason to go repave the roads 2 or 3 years ago and then do this. So it's been a little bit of, chicken and egg. Let's get it done first and then do it. There's been other things going on with some wastewater lines and things that we fixed. So that has been seen and done.
And I believe the construction.
Stormwater also.
I believe the construction technique contemplates open cut.
Yes.
Opposed to HDD, which is horizontal directional drilling, where it goes underground through boring of the underground. And when you go open cut, you obviously have to repave the road. So it's nice that you also get the roads, as you pointed out. Yep.
All right, so any other questions? Any comments by the HOAs? Any,
Molly?
Molly's coming up.
And if you could ask her who is here, so you get that on the record, who was here from the
I was gonna ask
association.
some general things with it.
Yeah, so this is Molly, and hopefully I don't miss it. Oh, there you go, Treewargy, and she's with the property management company. Mr. Stephen Thompson is their attorney, who's here as well, and Julie Santa Maria is with PFM, who's our financial advisors for the city.
And I also see in the back of the room, Molly, some of the folks that I'm assuming are probably members of the Master Association.
Yes, we have, if everyone.
You can talk into the microphone a little bit. And
We have representatives from we have representatives from almost all the individual condominium associations here, the board presidents and representatives.
And there's 15 separate associations, I believe.
There's 15 associations, and 10 of the 15 are represented with and the rest of them are board members, so.
And these are the individuals that signed the certifications that they reached out to all the members of their particular homeowners association, that they provided the certified letter, that you held the annual meeting and things of that nature,
They're
right?
all the signed receipts.
Just perfecting the record. Yep.
thank you. Do you have any, has it sounded good what we've done and said?
It has. If you don't mind, I'm gonna kind of repeat a lot of this
Good,
in my
thank
own
you.
words.
Yep.
So, good morning. My name is Molly Treewargy, and I've been the association manager for Ironwood Community Association for the past 6.5 years. Since before my tenure, the Ironwood Community Association has been working with the city to modernize the now 50-plus-year-old asbestos concrete pipe potable water system. With me today are the association attorney, Stephen Thompson, and where he was.
Behind you.
And there are 17 board member representatives in support of this project with me also. The overall objective is to have a modern system designed and constructed to meet the standards established by the city to take over the potable water system. This project needs to be done as the Ironwood Community Association Board is a group of volunteers that have little experience with the upkeep of a community water system. A break in this water system would be a serious health issue. Potable water systems in most communities are usually run and maintained by the county or municipality.
The fear that I have is if this system fails, there are 644 owners who are mainly retirees who will be without a water system. With the system being as it is and contractors to fix the system not available at a local level, this could make the repairs less than timely, causing great hardship and possible health issues. The association members met, and there has been support of this project by all the members voting starting in 2021, and of course the city in 2022 approving this. In October, a large group of owners and representatives participated in a meeting for this project and are in support of this project without any known objections. The city officials have been working with the association volunteers and engineers to design the project, with the association paying over $144,000 for the cost of that design, and the project has become a $3.7 million plus project. The city officials are working on helping the community to finance the project. All the owners have been notified by certified mail or hand delivery with receipt that they will be taxed on a yearly basis to pay for this system. This was also established as a request to proceed with the project by the city. Notarized affidavits attesting to this have been presented to the city by all association member representatives. The Ironwood Community Association humbly asks that the city's continued support by approving the 20-year financing so the engineers and construction workers can get to work without delay.
Any questions?
Yeah, Ms. Treeworthy, so what your group is asking is for us to consider the 20-year assessment? Yes. Okay.
Our community, just so you know, is a retirement community, and a large portion of our community is on fixed incomes. And also, for example, just in my building, on my floor, 4 of the 8 of us are widowed women. So we're on fixed, most of them are on fixed incomes. So that's just an example of what our community.
And Mayor, if I could just.
Ms. Coker had a question.
I'm sorry.
Quick, so.
Oh, sorry. But as you had said, you had someone that wanted the 10-year. I mean,
No, just that we've given an option to some that he might want to pay it off.
I was going to say, there's no penalty if they pay it off. If they were to pay, can they make higher payments like you can with your mortgage? And
It'd have to be all amortized out and done.
Yeah.
You have to re-amortize it every time the payment's made.
An extra.
Who would do that?
Yeah. They're either going to decide after maybe when they sell it, they'll say, I can get a little more value if it's paid off, maybe. I'm just, because the one gentleman I talked to, I don't know if he's in the audience. Is he out there who called and yelled and screamed at me? And
He's not going to admit it now.
To it now.
which was fine, because I called, he sent a very scathing email, and we were in Tallahassee, just coming back. I was sitting there, and I got up, and these guys didn't know why I got up and walked away, but then I talked to him, and he understood then, and not that you tried to not give the right information. Some people just hear what they want to hear at the moment. But when I explained it to him, oh, no, that's good, thank you, so. But no, I think most people are going to it'll just be on their tax bill at the end of the year and done. But there was one for sure that I know wants to pay it off.
I think when they go to sell their units, they'll probably, to induce a buyer
Yeah.
in this market, they're going to want to just have it already paid off.
Yeah, that might happen to some, but it may make it valuable or it may make it easier to do.
Exactly.
So, Mr. Mayor, just real quick, I was talking to Mrs. Santa Maria. Really what we need as far as the term is kind of an automatic term decision. So she just said that there's some options that we can give the homeowners as far as a payoff, different amortization and so forth. So I don't want to get in the weeds to it. Quite frankly, I couldn't explain it at this point, but Julie could. I just don't, it's not a decision that we need to make today. But if we reach out to each resident and we don't hear anything back, essentially council today can say, okay, well, we're going to set the term at X, whether it's 10, 15, or 20 years. But there are some payment options that we'll meet with the association and kind of go through them very specifically. And then that everybody then has a choice to do whatever is comfortable for them. So really, we just need an automatic set of, if we do not hear from the resident and we don't have a chance to meet with them and go through the options and they pick an option, then kind of the default or the automatic term is going to be whatever council decides to do.
Go ahead, Ms.
So when you say options, are you saying like the way you can do with your tax bill? Or are you talking about they'll be able to decide 10-year, 20-year? Oh, so you're going to give them an option?
Yeah, it's repayment options, right? We're going to give them some options. I've never done the assessments before, so Julie's more of the expert. But again, we're getting into the details of each one, because what we just talked about was there were quite a few options that are available. But each homeowner could pick one of those options, and if they don't pick anything,
They default to the
the
long.
automatic or the default is whatever the 20, if you guys decide 20 years, then they go off that amortization schedule you see for 20 years, and that's what they pay on their tax bill. But if somebody says, well, let me think about it, and I want to 30 days to determine, if I want to pay it off or if I want to just have it on my tax bill, then that's something we'll come back to council with and say, here are the options that we can present. And then council can approve some of these options that would be afforded to each homeowner. And again, really what we need to set today is if we don't hear from a homeowner or we're not able to get in touch with them and we have to move forward, then the default will be whatever we set today.
But it sounds like the request is for 20 year.
Yeah.
In general.
And
The
again,
maximum is 20 years. Right. Vice Mayor Moore and then Ms. Coachman.
Does it work, and this might be a question for, this is a question either for Mr. Williams or Julie. I was trying to do your last name. I know, I'm sorry. Does this work like a PACE lien, like they have to request a payoff and then pay it off at some point? Do you know what are you familiar with those? Or is this just really on the tax roll, like a special taxing district and?
Yes, Julie Santamaria with PFM Financial Advisors LLC. We are the city's financial advisor. It is an amount that's on the tax bill. So in practice, I'm not sure if the individual would need to contact the city and ask how much is remaining on their amount to pay off. But they could pay it off on any payment date, typically, is how it's set up, where you would not have a penalty, but you would pay the interest only up to that date, the interest due up to that date, and then pay it
On
off.
the balance.
Right.
What your portion is of.
Yes. So if let's say if someone selected a 20-year amortization, but then in 3 years decided I have extra money and I would like to pay it off now, they could do so without any penalty, and they would have paid the financing costs and interest up to that date.
Okay, I guess the nature of my question was, and it probably is a little too in the weeds for this conversation, but it relates to whether or not they will be, well, they have to, in a sale situation, pay it off.
That could be the city's choice, whether to require that to be paid off upon sale or to allow the purchaser to continue to assume that and make those payments.
Okay.
Probably keeping it flexible is good, but we've seen it both ways.
Okay.
So what do we need as a motion today to continue going and start the project?
I think Ms.
Oh,
Coachman
Ms.
has.
Coachman.
Yes. No, you go ahead, because
Vice-
I'm in line.
Okay, Vice Mayor Moore pretty much asked some questions that satisfied what I wanted to say, but if the request is 20, which is, a little more palatable in terms of the annual cost on their taxes, I feel like we should be a lot more flexible in terms of if they decide to sell. If you decide to sell, whether you want to pay it off or not, but I do know. But at least it would be lower, if we could at least go on the lower side, if they're selling, and they can at least say, well, it's not. It's not 475,000. It's just it's just the lower amount. I'm trying to read real quick, but with and without. But I just feel like it would be for that person that is not sitting on a big pot of money to do the 20-year in terms of paying back and then working out the other, having some allowances to work out the other options. I know I kind of rambled through that, but.
No, you're good.
Because it was very important to me that as many residents, 100% knows, are informed about it. And of course, you're not going to ever get responses until it hits you,
Yeah, sure. Well, just real quick. So just so everybody knows, the sheet that you're looking at in front of you, the annual payment is, so let's say for the 20-year term is $561, the very last number.
Okay.
Right, so then the 15 year is 646, and then the 10 year is 838. So that's their annual payment every year.
That'll be on the tax bill.
That would be on the tax
straight
bill.
off it.
Correct, yep.
And also, that's a very conservative interest rate, just sort of a not to exceed, and the actual amount today would be much lower in terms of interest cost.
I will tell you as a property manager, when we get the estoppel to when a unit is sold, okay? So this has to be divulged on the for now, okay? Once this hits the tax bill, though, then it's part of the tax bill. So when the realtor lists that house, at that point, it's on the tax bill, and who's ever buying usually gets a copy of that tax bill and will see it. So these kind of things are normally a negotiation between the buyer and the seller.
Agreed.
The delicate part of this is that first year before it hits the tax bill, to make sure that what is being sold, the people are being told, hey, by the way, you're going to have a little higher taxes than what the tax bill now states.
Gotcha.
Would you disclose that before you give the estoppels that are necessary for the bank to provide lending?
It's required, but take for granted, I only manage 3 of the 15 condominium associations at this point. So I have sent out, because we went through the problem with the SERS and the structural engineering thing. So I put a little thing together and I sent it out to the different property management companies and say, you need to talk to people about the SERS and you need to talk to them about this project, that these are possible things. Now, whether they do or not, but according to statute 718, if they don't put it on the estoppel, honestly and truly, whoever fills that estoppel out is 100% responsible for whatever is not included in that estoppel.
Miss Barnaby, and then Vice Mayor Moore.
Do we have an anticipated year that this would begin on the tax bills?
As soon as possible.
2/1/27.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah, we'd have our first payment, so it would have to be on the 26th tax bill.
Okay.
I guess not.
Just
So by the
want
end of
that out there
next year,
too.
when we got our
Yeah.
tax bills,
Yeah,
we
it
would,
will be
it
on
would
it.
be on it. Okay.
So it'll be in arrears, the way the taxes are, or when you start, are you paying forward? Because I've had that nightmare.
Yeah, our first
CDs.
payment would due, our first principal payment would due February 1st, 27 by this form. So we have to collect it on this coming up year's tax to be able to make that payment.
So the first payment is 27?
Yeah, 2/1/27.
So then you're going to collect it in the fall of this year. So
Right.
you're not going to be in arrears, and you're collecting it then for the next year.
Pay the first payment.
So see, that's the opposite of what taxes are.
Right.
So
Right.
it gets confusing.
Right.
And again, not to get too far into the financing, but if we have to decide if we are going to borrow the money or we're going to use, maybe some reserve, I mean, really, there's a litany of things that we need to present to council on the financing side to get approval for. Today, we're simply, are we moving forward with the project?
Then we get
And
into
if we
the weeds.
are, what default term or automatic term do you want to have set? We'll come back, and I just talked with Mrs. Ruderson, we'll come back with agreements the financing details and everything to then get approved by council with what we have set in place.
So if 42 units don't pay for whatever reason, do we own them?
We could lien them, yeah. I mean, we could foreclose
Well,
on them
technically, I
at some
think the
point.
tax collector or the clerk.
Right, so.
Sell at a
it would
tax
be
sale.
A tax certificate would be sold, and so it would not be the city's obligation.
We would be made whole
Yes.
at some point.
Yes.
At a
That's right.
tax,
There
at a
can be
tax sale.
limited
So
time-
we're not owning or foreclosing on people,
No.
it's on their tax record.
No.
I
It's a
knew
tax lien exactly like any other item on the tax bill.
Vice Mayor Moore, then Ms. Barnaby.
So I think, so, I mean, and this is really more for my personal education. So it sounds like this, because I think to, what I was trying to get at a little bit, I think Mr. Perry was also starting to go down that path, is, this sounds more like a community development district type bond that they're paying off, not a, like, when I say PACE lien, that's that environmental one that people can get, like new windows, but that's an actual lien that has to be paid off at a sale. So it sounds more like it's like a CDD and it continues on, but they have the option. Okay.
Ms. Barnaby.
Mr. Williams, could you put up the slide of the things that you wanted to make sure that we did today?
Yeah.
Over the things you wanted blessing over, or however you want to say it.
I could have just scrolled down to the bottom, but, you know, what, it's not any fun. All right, so, the first thing is, you know, given the fact that Mr. Perry and myself have met with the association, we made some requirements on informing each resident. The association's done that. They have certified that each resident or each property owner received a letter via certified mail. I think at this point, is there anything else council would like to see the association do? Is there any additional information or some kind of communication to the actual property owner? I think, in my opinion, and Mr. Perry, please jump in if you feel differently, but I think we've covered the basis of what we needed to. And we just wanted to make sure that all parties today, because this has been going on for a couple of years, and there may have been some transition of residents and owners, that we wanted to make sure that everybody knew the history, where we started, the process we went through to get it, and then where we are today. So, and then just to make sure that every single resident and owner knew that this is something that the association is requesting of the city, and we need to decide if the city wants to participate. So the next thing is, again, final council approval or deny. If we decide that we are gonna approve the water main replacement project, then determining what your automatic or default rate or term would be, not rate, your term, sorry, on the repayment period.
And ultimately, what we would be requesting is a motion. We don't need a resolution at this point or anything like that. We'd be requesting a motion to approve proceeding with the water main project and financing as proposed. We'd probably like you to make a determination to one of these categories to look at, and based on the request of Molly on behalf of the association and the property manager, as well as some of the points that were made by Councilwoman Coachman about keeping it lower, I would recommend the 22, because it's kind of like, that's going to be the lowest amount. And if you look at the bottom of it, the worksheet that's been put together, that annual assessment of $561 comes out to about $45 per month. That's the lowest one. And if someone pays it off early, as was discussed as well, just like you would with a car loan, a home mortgage, or the like, that doesn't have a prepayment penalty, you just come in and you pay what you owe for accrued interest and principal at that point. If somebody hits the lottery, somebody sells the house, somebody gets a better job, whatever it might be.
Somebody sells a kidney?
Somebody, all kinds of things.
All kinds of options.
For sure. And ultimately, what would happen if you did approve that motion is we would come back with the specifics on a resolution. Right, that would authorize Kim and the folks over there to kind of deal with the contractors and utility contractors, folks like that, and proceed with Mr. Rudisell, probably, and anyone else contacting the tax assessor and
move forward, right?
Yeah, moving forward with the levy.
Speaking of tax assessor, have we checked, are they gonna charge us a fee to do this? Because they now are charging the school board a fee for collecting a millage. So that has to be factored in.
Yes, and those amounts are factored in, so typically any fees associated with the project and with the benefit are included in the assessment.
Okay. We just don't wanna say, oh, now they didn't charge first year, now they're charging, and where are we at, so.
Right. Now, if you have a prepayment period, let's say 60 or 90 days where someone can prepay before the financing begins, then they would not incur any of those fees.
All right, just wanted that on the record too, because we know what the school district's going through now. In a good or bad way, I'm not saying either way, but just they're dealing with it. Ms. Barnaby?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Personally, I think that the city and the ICA Master Association has worked very well together and has made considerable effort to try to make sure that residents of Ironwood and Pine Brook know what's happening. So as a council member, I'm comfortable, and I don't feel that we need to require them to do any more. And I'm prepared to make a motion that we proceed with the information that was presented today, that we accept the recommendation from the ICA board and management suggesting or asking for the 20-year assessment to be the assessment that is assigned, with the understanding if someone wants to pay it in totality, they can do that. And I'm trying to see if there, what else do I need to add to it? That we
Other
just.
options available.
Yeah, so-
Yeah, that we have those options available and that we get this process going, and whoever at Public Works needs to get going, and city attorney get going, and let's make this thing happen.
Second.
I heard Ms. Coachman. All right, so we have that motion and a second. We've had a lot of discussion. We'll start the vote in Ward 3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
5,
Yes.
1,
Yes.
2.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Approved 5-0. Thank you to everybody for coming.
Thank you.
And I know it's been a long process, but we're going. Final comments by
But
Mr.
for the
Thompson.
record, my name is Stephen Thompson, attorney for the association. It's been a long process.
Already won, move on.
No, but I want to make sure that you recognize your staff, because the staff did an unbelievable job. They worked with us. It was a long process, but every time we needed something, they were there. So I want to make sure that they get the credit, because we really appreciate what they did for us. And I mean, it was Mr. Perry, Mr. Rudisell, and the Public Works Department working together to make this happen. I want to make sure that you understand that, because we really appreciate that. So thank you very much.
Yeah,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
Ms. Thompson saying that, and Ms. Claybeck's in the back of the room, and she's been working on this for years as well. And the technical aspects of the engineering and the construction and the procurement and everything else has been, and the financing and all.
And we appreciate the homeowners, the residents.
Very much so.
That put themselves out as HOA board members, because we know that is definitely a job, that volunteers that don't go unpunished.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And now you're down here at lunchtime. If you haven't been down here for lunch,
Street.
you've got wonderful restaurants. Treat, as they say on Parks and Recreation, treat yourself.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, thank you. Mr. Perry.
Thank you, Mayor. The final two matters are going to be holdovers from the previous items, which is going to be involving a resolution request for some very significant funding that was received through it's basically hurricane funding related to infrastructure projects. It goes from federal EPA down to DEP through SRF and ultimately to the city. And we need a couple of resolutions for both the drinking water resolution and I believe it's going to be the clean water resolution. This, of course, was shepherded and brought to us and applied for and highly managed by our partners with Woodard and Curran and their fiscal solutions team, Morgan French and Tom and the folks on that team just have done a remarkable job in getting us significant funding that's related to these two particular resolutions. Ryan Watson is here, Scott Shannon from Woodard and Curran, who's actually in charge of their consulting business leader from, I believe it's New Mexico, all the way through the Southeast and Virginia, are here and would have, stand for any questions and the like. Our team worked really closely with their team, and I couldn't be prouder of the results and the teamwork that's gone into these two funding supplements that we've received. They're significant, 35 million on one, 19 on the other. They're composed basically of 100% forgivable loans, and we received the maximum each category of the total grant to the state of Florida and the various caps on those grants for each particular eligibility category. In addition to that, we also kind of in a fairly prioritized position to receive additional funding from those funding sources and beyond with SRF. And I'll turn it over to Lance if
He's talking to the people.
all right, well, Ryan's here. Ryan, you want to come up and say anything, you and Scott? Okay. And I think the memo spells out in detail what I've kind of outlined already.
Good morning.
Good morning, afternoon,
Go ahead.
good morning still, Mr. Mayor, members of council and staff. Scott Shannon with Woodard and Curran. So yes, both these resolutions, as Mr. Perry pointed out, really at this stage, we're looking for permission to go ahead and file the loan applications on your behalf. The money's already been awarded to you, and because it's principal forgiveness, there is a loan application that has to be filed. But again, there's no debt to the city for this because the principal will all be forgiven. I'm happy to answer any other questions you have about that. But in both cases, as Mr. Perry pointed out, these programs came from EPA through Department of Environmental Protection. They are focused on response and resilience to future natural disasters. So it was a funding allocation that was specifically for Helene and Milton. Obviously, your community was affected by those storms. I've got to say, the success of this application, we're happy to help, but it took a lot of help from staff to put those together and really justify what as Mr. Perry pointed out, were the maximum allocations that any community got in both drinking water and wastewater. So kudos and congratulations to you all.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'll just say, if anybody else has anything, but we made a great decision back when we hired your company, not because we subbed it out per se or changed, but because we were looking at the whole picture in our Face It and Fix It. And, we can't say that enough about Face It and Fix It, the way our plant is going there at the wastewater system, while still getting all of the other things, and then still working with you. Because it's something that, when I look back over all the years, I don't know that much could have changed before us, but the Face It and Fix It is we're going forward. And you would never wish for hurricanes, you'd never wish for disaster, but you got to face and fix what we're in. And with your company being, part of it, with our staff being part of it, with legislatively, the way we're working as a team to work with our legislators, everything is playing into this cog and this wheel that's working well. So we appreciate, the importance of Woodard and Curran, also the extra stuff that goes on outside of the wastewater plant only, but as well as our staff and pushing hard to even get more. So, we talk about the 54.3 we got already. There's upwards of another 80 to 200 million that might be available and seeing us doing the right things. Now it's how quick can we get the boots on the ground for the work done?
Correct.
And we're already at that point. We were very lucky this season, and I don't want it's luck, it's just maybe the Indian burial grounds is back but, for the whole country. But we had nothing this year, even with the heavy rains. And the one time we did have a heavy rain, we had a situation. But we're working on that, as well as Mr. Perry and I have met with an individual that we'll be bringing back to this board that will help us sell our message. Because it was said to me that we could do everything we're doing and some of our waterways still be exactly where they are. And then it would look like we wasted the money. But you've got to sell the message, the face it and fix it message, also with the why we're doing it. And I think that this gives us that other cog in the wheel, that money-wise, that we don't have to pay back, that also then will fix the little thing for the future. Because a lot of stuff we're fixing now, a lot of us won't see while we're up here, but it'll be done, and we'll be proud to say that we've done it generationally. Vice Mayor Moore.
Do I understand correctly that we have flexibility with the projects? Like we haven't, there's not one particular project or many that we had to formally identify and go
So the application was very general in nature and talked about generally the improvements that needed to happen, whether that be wastewater or drinking water. They're two separate applications. The amount that we applied for in both cases were greater than the amount that was awarded. Again, you guys got the maximum cap for any community in both categories. But what the burden on the next thing that's part of it's not part of the application, but once the application is approved, the next step will be to do a facilities plan that identifies the specifics, how you're going to use the specific allocations in each of those categories on what specific projects.
Okay.
So yes, there is some flexibility there within the description of what the application, what went into the application.
Right. Gotcha. Okay, great. Thank you.
Just on that point, I think Scott's done a good job of kind of touching on that, because it's obviously a fairly important question. We responded with looking at our wastewater system under the auspice of clean water. That involves a variety of different, both collections and treatment components. That's well known by anybody that does these types of things. And so we'll have to get together to basically figure out how to prioritize those. And Ms. Clayback and her team over there have done a really good job of kind of getting us out in the lead, where we've included them in the application, and they looked at it and said, yeah, these are the types of projects that would qualify. On the clean water side, we haven't talked as much about that, I should say, on the drinking water side. But we have an aged reservoir that needs significant upgrades at the treatment plant, as well as the distribution system there as well. And so it's the 35-19 split, and I assure you that we'll need every bit of that 35 to do some of those major enhancements. And it's fairly quick money in the terms of grant money. This as far as getting it to the project. There's some restrictions on you can't do certain things until you get certain approvals and the like. But it's some of the fastest money I've seen actually out there that comes through the federal system and then ultimately through the state subawards and things of that nature. So we will see these projects fairly quickly. When I say fairly quickly, you know, you're probably talking about concept and design. It's coming up the end of this year, and thereafter probably being able to look at construction starts on some of these projects, or at least procurement and construction starts shortly thereafter. And so we're going to get done in probably 5 years what would have otherwise taken 15 to 20, because really when you look at where the funding comes from, the rate is the last thing you want to hit. That's what we typically use. When we obtain the SRF funding for our well, for our lining program, and also for our clarifier, that was 1% SRF money, but it was still loans, basically. And to that extent, in order to pay those loans, we have to go to the rate payers and, you know, be able to show SRF that we have the capacity to service the debt. Here it's going to be a little bit different because it doesn't hit the rate directly. It's a 100% forgivable loan. You're looking basically, when I do some quick math, at about $100 million that we've basically been able to obtain through SRF funding, ARPA funding, different types of DEP grants, state appropriations, and other funding sources. That's just over the last probably somewhere in the order of 3 to 4 years. That SRF funding, they started before I even got here, frankly. But that's $100 million. Now you're looking at another probably 100 on top of it, you know, with this being 53, some backup money between local mitigation, other types of funding. And a community the size of Bradenton, quite frankly, would have never been able to get that type of funding had it not been for both availability, for it not been for good bandwidth of our folks doing good things, for it not been having partners, had not been having good leadership, frankly. So we should be proud of what we've done, and we've done a lot, but we got a lot more to do.
Ready for a
Ms.
motion?
Barnaby.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm excited.
What?
Trying to move quickly here. I'd like to make the motion to approve Resolution 25-111 and authorize the mayor to execute the loan application, loan agreement, and the supporting documents, please.
I heard Ms. Coker the loudest.
I didn't even try that.
All right, I'll start the vote in Ward 4,
Yes.
5,
Yes.
1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3.
Yes.
Ms. Barnaby.
What? There's
There's
another
another
one. I'm
Get out that
sorry.
cover memo.
I was out of the room when we
Resolution
decided to do it together.
25,
Yes.
112.
So I'd like to move for approval of Resolution 25-112.
Second.
All right, Ms. Barnaby, a move to approve. Ms. Coachman, second. Start the vote in Ward 5,
Yes.
1,
Yes.
2,
Yes.
3,
Yes.
4.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Tell you guys we
And-
have some pretty good restaurants in town.
So one of the other things that I think is so important is, and we're still asking for more appropriations to go towards this. We're still working with others and the other monies. So we could have never taxed our way out of this, as Mr. Perry was mentioning about things. And I really feel confident that in '26, even though people don't see anything right now, they're gonna start seeing a lot of boots on the ground and projects going and happening that are gonna make things better. And when you really look at the wastewater plant, I think we're gonna have a great 3D design pretty quick that's coming out. So, yeah, that'll be very interesting to see how you'll be able, because people wanna see and feel it. And it's interesting, and I'm just gonna say this because we had the media here for about 30 seconds today, and obviously, they don't care about our crap. You know, and we keep, until it's a message of us not doing something. But I say that tongue in cheek because some of the things that we're working are difficult. But what do you see we've done today has been so great, and we could have never taxed our way out of it, but we've strategically, through our administration, through the elected officials, through our staff, have now getting things done and boots on the ground, and that's what's fun to see. But, you know, we can see the above-ground stuff, but the below-ground they'll never see, and we're going to keep working that and excited to move things forward. Council reports. Mr. Rudisell and I, and probably Mrs. Moore, I'm going to start out with a little congratulations to our Florida State fans. Women's girls soccer got a parade coming into the airport yesterday with from their fire department, shooting the water towers over for winning the championship in soccer. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Ward 2.
You always start with me. Along those lines, I'd like to say thank you to Jane Coker, because I remember some of our very first council meetings and how you fought for us to get into the realm of Tallahassee and Washington with having representation there, not just our elected officials, but others that have helped us. And I think that it has paid off magnificently, and I appreciate you championing that. So, want to thank the Village of the Arts for having a wonderful holiday event last Saturday, where Mayor Santa and First Lady Claus was there, and there was a crazy elf running around too. So that was a lot of fun. Want to thank the staff of Realize Bradenton for putting on a tremendous winter wonderland with all of the volunteers that they had there and all of the activities. And I don't know, we probably throughout the night could have hit between 8,000 to 10,000 people down there. It was a big crowd, and it was very good to see. I would like to extend my deepest sympathies to the family of Brenda Harvey. Miss Harvey was an educator here in town. She taught at just about every level. She taught at elementary school, middle school, and at Manatee High School. Just an amazing lady who will be missed. And also want to going to get through this. The Middleton family was an awesome African-American family in our community. And they pretty much single-handedly integrated just about every school in our school system. Their parents were educators, and the children went to a different school every year. I can't imagine doing that. I had enough trouble with just my 2 boys and my niece in one school. But that is what the family did. It was, I believe, their family mission. And Kim Middleton was in my 3rd grade class at Ballard, Mark's 4th grade class at Palmasola, and then when he went to Miller, she was in his 5th grade class at Miller Elementary. And Kim graduated with Miss Coachman and myself. She was an educator. She was also a journalist. She was a friend to this community, someone to be admired, and she will be deeply missed. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Barnard. Mr. Schuessler.
I just wanted to echo sort of the same comments about Councilwoman Barnaby and the Village of Arts, seeing Mr. and Mrs. Claus and the elf and the community events that were there. It was a big success. Winter Wonderland, as long as I've been around, it's probably the biggest turnout. It's definitely the biggest turnout that I've seen. So off of those two, just wanted to wish everyone a safe and happy holiday season. And regarding Ward 3, I look forward to seeing all of my neighbors. One of the reasons I was attracted there to begin with, our potluck dinner coming up. So happy holidays to everyone.
Thank you. Ms. Vice Mayor Moore.
I don't have much to report. I was just, I had the pleasure of being sworn in on Monday as the Secretary Treasurer of the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council. So I'm looking forward to working more integrally with that organization. And of course, as always, I will forward all the information that I get to our wonderful admin staff as they, and our public works planners and engineers as anything is relevant to the work that you all do for resiliency in our area. I'm very excited about the progress that we're making in that regard. And I just have one little thing, which is just recently someone was asking me about the alleys downtown and maintaining them, basically complaining that they were a little unkept. And I don't know if that's a police thing I pass along or public works, but I'm just throwing that out there. I just heard about that yesterday and letting you all know. I haven't noticed anything, but I'm just letting you know that someone was asking me about that. Other than that, I was very sorry to miss Winter Wonderland this year. It's always so fun. I love the family-friendly activities when we do those downtown. But I was traveling, so hopefully next year will be just as wonderful, I imagine. And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everyone.
Thank you. And I'll go on the alleys, especially the one alley that we're getting beat up on a lot right now behind Jess and Cava and some other areas. The statement was made that I did something at some point that came from a council person here that in 1924, I wasn't even alive when the Singletaries did it. So I just want the people to get the information out correctly.
Yeah, neither was
And,
I.
yeah, so, but before we start, we've got to work together. And to me, when somebody says something, come to us. And it was sad that I heard that you told somebody something, and I don't believe that you did, Mrs.
Yeah, I
Moore.
was like that.
But,
I do not.
but that's
That
what
was
it
not what I
came to
said.
me, that Mrs. Moore said something to another person that told us, and the mayor did something. Well, I wasn't alive in 1924.
Yeah, I
so
did
just
not
hope
say anything like
okay.
that.
Well, that's why, again, we can't talk outside of this meeting.
Right.
That's why I'm glad you brought it up, because
Yeah.
it wasn't my
And that
comments.
actually wasn't even the alley.
Right,
It
yeah.
was the one next to
Right.
the coffee shop and the sandwich shop that they were telling me about, the one with the
Okay, and
gates.
and that's been a lot of conversation.
But
over
no,
years.
about the Cava one
right,
though, I
right,
will tell you exactly what happened. I went down a rabbit hole actually of how did that happen and how did we get there? And I did realize that that action was taken. I don't know if it was 2024. That was the plat, I
No,
think. but it was-
1924.
Right, 1924, I think was when the plat was recorded, but then something happened in 2018 that was actually the county doing something that I've never even heard of. So I have no idea what happened, and
The person that it got back to me from said that you said that the mayor did something. So again, 2018, I wasn't mayor either.
yeah, no, I couldn't, I was
But-
looking for a vacation,
Right,
and
yeah.
I couldn't find one.
Right,
But I
yeah.
did go down a rabbit hole.
Vacation of a road,
Of a-
or not,
correct.
you weren't looking to go to.
No, I would love to go on a
Cozumel.
vacation, but
And
no.
that's why I don't take it personal if there's something.
No,
but-
if I
but
thought you'd
when
done
it comes down-
something, I
yeah,
would have just
right, yeah,
said
so-
that.
But that was what, because again, we've done a lot of research through the city surveyors and all of that to try to make a business be able to have a
Sure.
way to do it, because you know how important it is to me with not just Main Street, 13th, 10th, other
Absolutely,
things.
yeah, 100%.
So,
She
yeah.
works in my building, and
Mm-hmm.
for me, when she expressed what was happening, it was more of a
Mm-hmm.
title question that I thought was interesting.
Oh, yeah, because again, we've traced it all the way back to 1924.
Yeah.
With the Singletaries.
Right.
And there was never an alley there.
Yeah, I had no
There was
idea.
no
I have
vacation.
no idea.
There never was an alley.
There was
'cause
no
it
vacation that I
one,
could find.
But now, what I've asked staff to do at some point is, let's bring all of the property owners in, and that sometimes seems to solve things better, because, one person will say, well, I'll give them an access to get to the garbage. Then when it comes down to the public part of it, no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
But if you're all in the same room, before it comes down to it, then we can work it out. But, no, I'm glad you brought that up, because it wasn't something that I took personal, but it was just,
Yeah.
information is king, and that's what we're going to keep doing. So, all right, thank you. Mrs. Coachman.
Thank you. Y'all know about that he say, she say stuff, right? Well, it's usually one side, this side, somewhere in the middle is the truth. Mrs. Barnaby, I appreciate you bringing up those two beautiful, great, phenomenal women. Miss Harvey was a trailblazer. Her daughter works at Lee Middle. Well, she's out on leave right now, but I have the opportunity to work with her daughter. A great woman, great woman. The second person you spoke of, Kim Yvette, is what we often called her in the neighborhood. Another great woman, another trailblazer in her own right. I grew up with Kim. I could walk to her house in 20 seconds. Great family. And she left a mark. She did, both of them. And I am, I feel blessed to know both of them and really know them well. As far as Ward 5, lots going on. I always say Ward 5 is alive, but it really is. I mean, the Minnie Rogers site, and it's Ward 5, so I can talk about it, I think. I see, before I even go to work, the Woodruff and Sons trucks, they're working. And I'm so glad that they've started working on that water line or what have you, because there were some neighbors that complained to me that their streets weren't paved when the other streets were newly paved. And I said, there's something in the works, don't worry, they didn't forget you. And so I'm glad now that they understand why we didn't pave their roads, because we would have been just tearing up new roadway. Happy holidays to everyone. I'm sorry. Happy holidays. Be safe, enjoy, be with your loved ones. Don't eat too much, because your doctor will be very upset. Well, that was in the past. Thanksgiving was in the past. There's just so much. There's so much. But just actually enjoy the season, because this is really the best time of the year.
Thank you. Mrs. Coker.
Thank you. I feel a little bit redundant, but I do want to say thank you to Realize Bradenton. I thought Winter Wonderland was just wonderful. We had such great weather, and it just was such a nice crowd out there, nice family atmosphere. There's just nothing better than seeing the families down there enjoying and supporting our businesses and celebrating the Christmas season. I did, not to get negative, but I was a little bit, and I've already talked to a couple of people about this, but, I was a little disappointed because I don't drive much at night, and as I left, and all the beautiful lights downtown, and then I got on Manatee Avenue going west, and there was nothing. So I would like to see, and I've talked to the county and to Keep Manatee Beautiful, I really would like to see us work towards getting all of Manatee Avenue decorated for the holiday season next year. So I've kind of tasked that to the mayor to take it on, which hopefully he will. And because, there just isn't anything on the west side. And I think that, and if you go out to Lakewood Ranch and you see what Benderson's done at UTC, it's just amazing. I can hope for that, but maybe some of these shopping centers on the west side could do a little bit more to, and so if we got it all together, maybe, and spearheaded it, maybe something could happen for next year.
And I think, like you said, Westgate used to do stuff years ago.
It just is nothing. Maybe things were damaged in the storm, but let's try to get going forward. It is the holiday season. I know this is a tough time for a lot of people because of the loss that some people have suffered, so I hope that we're able to pull together and support each other, for people. But remember that this is the reason for the season, and I hope that everybody's able to be with their families. And if not, reach out to someone, for help. I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. And I'm also thankful to all the staff and all of you. We have a lot of fun up here. I know we're doing a lot of good work, but I want to thank all of you. You mean a lot to me.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I
Yes,
could, just
ma'am.
one more thing. Bill Ackles and his family come in every year on their own time and decorate our chambers and decorate the lobby area. Again, on their own time. They do it as a family activity.
You think they'd do Manatee Ave for me?
I don't know. I talked to Jen. She's the one that gets stuff done in that family. But it's appreciated, and the fact that they do it as a family, and now they're bringing their granddaughter in, and she's helping. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I forgot to mention that. So thank you for.
Definitely for Bill and his family, and it's almost like a tradition for them now, which to do it is for their city, and Bill's a 30-year-plus employee. Village of the Arts was so much fun on Saturday. We're working, obviously, to get Village of the Arts the thriving community that it deserves to be, and some of that starts with even with City Park and the way those things, you're going to start seeing more. 2026 is going to be really a lot of visual stuff that you'll start seeing more behind the scenes on things happening. So that's just exciting times there. Of course, my wife and I love doing it, and our little elf that we have help us in some things. One of the things, too, also with our Face It and Fix It, and we will talk a little bit about that tomorrow at the workshop, but I was proud to see that not only that we got the money, but Palmetto also got 19+ million towards to help some of that, because, when you look at it, if we're doing it and they're not, or because they don't have the funds, it's going to be good. So they see the need for our community, and Manatee County got some that wasn't all forgivable, where Palmetto's and ours is all forgivable. So some of those things are working through. But 2026 is going to be where you're going to see a lot more things happening visually and continuing to improve the part of that's important with the Face It and Fix It. And it does go back when we got this council, Ms. Coker pushing hard for the lobbyist, then pushing the next, which I think played right into everything else with Woodard and Curran and others, bringing them in because they saw that the need that we had and the desire that we had. And, you know, Kim has done a great job with her staff and through with Jim McCullen at the time, but there's only so much bandwidth. And I think with the administration we have now, the way the makeup is coming out, we have done a great job from the staff, from Mr. Perry all the way down now, working to make it better. And again, we can't tax our way out of this, but we can work our way out of it. And we're really set up the future to wake it out. So thank you for that, and especially to the staff and everyone out there that's continuing on. And I'll be a broken record until there is nobody complaining, which will never happen, but we'll do it. So thank you very much. Thanks for everything that went today. Again, debate is very healthy, and going back and forth to things, you know, and as we know, sometimes we don't always agree, but we do agree that we love our city and that 2025 was great and 2026 will be even greater. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, and all the religions that are out there. And we're going to keep striving to make it better for our grandchildren and their children for the future to come. So department heads, anyone specific? Looking forward to, again, a great workshop tomorrow, which is going to be all day in between the EDC. I know, I see him. I always save him for last because he's
I'm like Mary Ann.
not the best for last, but the best for last. Chief Gear, do you have anything?
Let me get it in. Thanks for coming out and supporting the awards Friday last week. I know it was rescheduled. They were worried about attendance and all of, I believe, most all
packed.
of it. And it was packed, so thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Chief Kramer.
Thank you. I want to thank you all in advance for your support of our upcoming community events. Saturday from 9 to 2 is our annual toy drive, which will be in the BPD front lot. The benefits, Hope Family Services, Manatee Children's Services, Safe Children's Coalition, and various daycare facilities within the city. And then Tuesday is our sort of signature event. It's going to be our 17th annual, or not annual, but 17th Honoring the Badge. And it's being held again this year at Walmart. We partner, of course, with Pastor Don Storiano and Kingdom Life Church. He and Chief Raz are the ones who really started that all those years ago. And we're supported strongly by Kingdom Life Church, Walmart's foundation, Cox Chevrolet, and Just Jewelers, and we really appreciate their support. It's a great night. We have, I think right now, we have 135 children that are selected by various organizations throughout those other organizations. Kingdom Life Church has a lot that they put in. But we're able to take the kids around. And again, you know, every year we get support from city employees and fire department and you all, and hope that continues in perpetuity.
And blessings for us, for Pastor Don and his recovery.
Yes.
Which, I mean, it was scary for a while with everything we knew through COVID.
Yeah.
But we're blessed that, you know, a lot of prayers through our city family and the church and those events were, but I think he's going to make an appearance if he can.
That's the prayer.
Yeah,
Yeah, certainly.
He'll be there on Tuesday night, which will be his first outing.
Yeah.
But, you know, if everything stays well. But what he has done for our city just in general has been something good, and I just think that it's great. But we'll continue to pray for him with keep his recovery going well. Anyone else? Again, congratulations, Grandpa. What's your name? What's the name so far? Has it come out yet?
The name of the child?
Well, I'm Papa G,
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
I know the name of the child, but it's not his. You know, let him decide once he gets a little
that's
older.
what we talked about, actually. Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's a lot of names people could think of to call you, but
I will tell you.
Yeah, there is.
You may want to think about it.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to
are we taking suggestions now? All right. Well, Merry Christmas again, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah, and we'll be adjourned.
I don't know what kind of granddaddy's gonna be.